Where you off to?
I'm heading back to Temple, Texas from Houston, Texas, but I'm gonna stop at my brother's tattoo shop on the way to go visit him.
Nice. There you go. It's good stuff.
How's it been going with your end over there?
Good. Yeah, staying busy, getting some deals done. I don't know. I don't have a ton of like deal flow, but the deals I'm getting done are good. Uh,
Yeah, that's my preference right there. It's like if I can make 25 to 35 off of each one, I don't care if I have, I don't need 30 deals, well, 2 to 4 a month is fine with me.
yeah. Yeah, especially like just brain damage from like TC work and getting everything done and staying organized is real, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I got other little side hustles going on too. It's just I prefer, I don't know, whenever it comes to that type of work, I do very complicated deals, and sometimes it's hard to wrap my brain around it. I was charging 2 grand for one, but it was a little more complicated than I anticipated originally. So I went up and now I'm charging 6 grand to do some research on a deal for somebody. And then there's another one, probably going to make about $10,000 to help organize somebody's data for marketing and then get it started. Probably going to help them set up their Go High Level or their Salesforce account, whatever they choose to do. And that stuff helps too, along with, the deal.
Oh, you know high level well?
Uh, I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any means, but yeah, I feel very confident in working through it. It's just that's what we started out with, and then we switched to REI SIF. But I got another CRM that I'm going to check out tomorrow with Casey Hupp up there, and he's out there in Dallas. He's kind of local to me, lives very close to me, and he's a good friend of mine. He started his own uh, platform, his own software for acquisitions, and I think I want to plug that into my REI SIFT for Kinley. That way, all he has to do is log into his CRM and deal with that.
Nice. I have access to a Go high level account. I don't use it. I don't think I would want to use it as an actual CRM, but one thing I was kind of thinking of is like I cold call through Mojo, I qualify leads, I push them into Follow Up Boss. I like using Follow Up Boss for my CRM. So I'm kind of thinking about the same idea, but utilizing my Go high level account for like text marketing because they have like the AI chatbots and all that stuff. Um, so if that's something you'd feel comfortable setting up, we can talk and I will pay you. And yeah,
Yeah, man, I can always take a look at it. Something that I recommend. There's another CRM. It's called Go Blue. You buy a phone line and you can send messages from your iPhone through it.
okay.
And I for me that blue message is just it's easier to find validated numbers and then it's more trustworthy because it doesn't seem as spammy and because
Yep.
you're actually texting from your cell phone you don't have to put stop or stop this if you don't want to stop. It just depends on. We can talk about it later. I mean, we can talk about it now till the meeting starts, but yeah.
You can talk about it
Yeah.
now. Do your thing.
Um, yeah, I don't know if I really care about that, to be honest. I would probably just have it set up and I don't know. The less manual I'm thinking, the better. Like if I can just have AI bubble up people raising their hands and I can push it over, have it automatically pushed over and then, start working it from there. But I have not used high level, so, but I have one.
Yeah, something we can definitely talk about. If I was
Yeah.
just throwing that out there because that's something that I want to do, but it's not for real estate marketing.
Hmm.
It's more of it's more for another business that I'm helping a friend with. So just kind of depends on what you want to go because the iPhone is kind of limited. I believe you can only send 40 to 50 text messages a day per each phone. I mean, per each line. So you do get the benefit of having the blue text bubbles, but also it limits you on your volume. So that's the only drawback. So if you're texting very niche data, it's beneficial in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a good point. It'd be mostly probates and any other leads that I scrape, but yeah.
Why don't you post in a group and just ask who else is using Go High Level? Because there's a couple of you that like that one.
Yeah, that's true. That could help too.
Yeah.
Hi, Adam.
What's up, Sharkey? How are
Welcome to the party.
you? Appreciate you inviting me.
What are you up to lately? So I don't know. Do you know who else is on this call? Have you met before?
I've seen Mark's name a little bit. Greg, no, I have not.
Ooh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Sorry.
I'm out there. I'm out here doing stuff. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too, man.
So Adam's up in Maine, right? Two kids up in
No,
Maine.
Salem. I'm close. Mass.
Oh, Salem,
Yeah.
Massachusetts. Yeah. There's actually another sub two student out there. He's like Dominican, like years ago when Pace first came up because Laura really wanted to do like Halloween stuff. And
Oh yeah.
so we were in a tizzy trying to like buy a house in Salem to like host our meetup at. But anyway, so yeah, Salem. So Mark is a wholesaler over in North Shore. Was an acquisitions agent for White Acres, really did good stuff for them. And then now he directly works for himself. He's actually on a roll right now, which I think is really good for him. So yeah, he's just been crushing dragons lately.
Yes,
Nice.
thank you.
Yeah.
What you
And
working
then,
on, Adam?
yeah, what are you up to?
So me, I started with owning single families and then, did a few creatively and sub two and subject to or seller finance. Had always wanted to go more into the commercial space. So Suzanne, obviously, iffy. So, she was a big proponent for that, probably a couple of year ago or so. So ended up joining like another group. And then we started looking at like multifamily and then pivoted, kind of fell in love with the assisted living space. So have
Okay.
been doing that ever since. So working with some of the larger facilities, but I've also teamed up with a couple other sub twos. So Celeste being one of them, where we're kind of looking at more of like the 20 to like 30 or 40 bed units. So yeah, that's what I have going on lately.
So
Nice.
what was the group that you joined? So you hooked up with Iffy and then you joined another mentorship. What was the name of that
Yeah,
one?
so if he's in it as well, it's Rod Khleif's commercial real estate. It's I think it's called Lifetime Cash Flow. Um, his is good. It's very similar to Sub 2 with the close-knit community, but it's a little bit more, it's smaller. There's only about like 1,200 people in the group, but there's really only like 250, 300 people who are very active in the group. But it's all strictly commercial based.
So commercial base being defined as what? Anything 5 doors and up?
Pretty much. It could be a multifamily, it could be self-storage, it could be mobile home parks, assisted living in this case, land development, anything along those lines.
Why do you like assisted living so much?
So yeah, it's funny. So when I started in that group, I was just kind of connecting with everyone who would take some time. Met a ton of people, and I went into it saying, gonna kind of have a clean slate. Like, don't go into it with any like pre-notion of like I want to go into this multifamily or self-storage or whatever. Just listen to see what's out there, see if there's anything that really kind of strikes your interest. Assisted living really ended up being the last thing I would think of, and I kept hearing it more of it. Started diving in a little bit more, and it really interested me for a couple reasons. One, I thought it was a cool asset class, but two, it was kind of one of those things that struck you personally, where there's always that finding that bigger than you kind of project. And I felt like that was a cool thing to do where it's a growing demographic. You remember putting like your elderly and your grandparents in one and remembering how bad those were as a kid. So, it's also like affects me because I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna be able to, escape this. So it's a cool demographic to help out. If it hits home a little bit for me. And then um, the care staff, I figured that was something where you could really make an impact given the fact that they're not really appreciated, don't get taken care of very well. So, I felt some other things above real estate for me, that affected me.
So apart from working with Celeste, have you guys made moves on assisted living facilities?
We've made, we've been looking at, we've looked at a few. We've probably looked at probably seriously 3 or 4 where we're okay, really diving in, looking at the underwriting, trying to talk to the broker or the seller, and just seeing about really making an offer. So there's one we're looking at specifically right now. Um, the last one we looked at, it wasn't going to work out. It was zoned for, we'd have to convert it, but there was a USDA HUD, USDA loan attached to it, and they were really strict on the requirements and what needed to be done. We could even convert it to an assisted living, even though it was age restricted, low income housing.
What were you doing before all of this? Like when I saw you last year?
Yeah, when I saw you in November, yeah, I mean, I would say that was kind of the transition. I knew I wanted to go into more of the commercial space. I just kind of started to dive into it more, join that mentorship right around there. And then, obviously I still work my W-2, so I do equipment financing for like small, medium-sized businesses.
Love it. You have the same buy box as Celeste?
Yeah, we have a similar buy box. She is kind of doing some other things with another group she's in with Pace's Owners Club. So they're looking at a couple different markets, but with us, we're similar buy box. And then I've kind of worked with some guys who are doing some of the bigger facilities, like 75 units and above. So I've been trying to make my way there as well with, capital raising and deal finding.
So according to goals that you set out for yourself, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's fucking halfway throughout the year and everybody's like, no, don't remind us. But it is, the year's halfway almost over. The goals that you set for yourself in regards to assisted living and what you're trying to hit, where do you lie with those?
Well, I mean, I put my target to do at least get into 2 deals by the end of the year. So not in a deal yet, but we're making the strides to get there. So right now it's more of the process to get to the deal of talking about what we're doing, educating people so that we're pretty much capital raising as well without the deal yet. So when the deal does come, we
Yeah.
have everything to go. We've done our due diligence. We have capital. We're able to take these down.
I love it. I know you recently, I think you've been getting out of your house, right? Going to meetups. If you go to a meetup, I would love to know what meetups you're going to. I maintain like a social calendar for us just because one of the goals that I have is I need friends outside of sub 2. There's a whole world that exists there and
Yep.
the real world, some might say. And so I've been trying to go out, network, meet friends in different industries, sort of deal. So if you ever go to a meetup, I would love to know which ones that you're going to. And then you can also check our calendar. I have a cheat sheet. I don't know if you were in it back in the heyday of when I was running things, but I had a cheat sheet for us, but essentially it's a sheet that gives you everything. So we have a directory just for our Creative Elite stuff. Creative Elite is a little bit different because it's just me and my friends. People that don't steal is pretty much my only rule. Don't be an asshole and don't steal. Imagine that. And just be good friends to each other because at the end of the day, like real estate is a team sport and real estate is better with friends. And I've survived some really janky shit because you have friends that you can talk to, and it makes the world a more fun place to live in. So that's pretty much it. Is I just want to buy deals. I want to do more deals with my friends. The end. So we exchange resources in whatever capacity that looks like. One resource that I have tonight is a lender. So the next project I have ended up having a pipe burst. And so I have some downtime to then go shopping and revisit the market. And so one of the lenders I found is actually through Mark. So Mark is doing his first flip up in Sanford, Maine. And then the loan lender he has is something called Backflip. And so I've seen Backflip on Instagram, but I've shopped like National Loan Funding. I have a whole spreadsheet of like by the time it's done, it's going to be about 10 different people. And then the other thing I really like about it is Backflip right now is leading the charge as to, it's kind of like direct to lender. I almost feel as if other lenders out there, so if you meet a lender, maybe like, I don't know, I forgot his name, but the other Asian out there in the tundra area, Colin Yap, got it. So I almost feel like they're just brokering between that. I almost don't think they even have a license, but they're finding these guys and then just adding points on top of it, the initial part, and just essentially applying for you, which I think is a little silly if you get to a point like this where you can do it all on your own. So the best one is Backflip. I think the lowest they go is 8.75%. To get there, you'd have to have a GC license and some other things. So Rachel, I don't know, do you have Kisaki? Rachael is out of Boston. Do you have a GC license? Your husband does.
Yes.
You do?
No, I don't, but we do, like, together.
Would you want to get your GC license?
I have thought about it, and I took the class and then was just lazy and did not take the test. I think probably this year it's been a goal of mine to like get the GC license, just because like I'm literally like I was at the building department today. I'm there all the time. It's just so much easier for it to be under my name because I do all
Yeah.
the paperwork for it anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it's like it's been one of my things I've been thinking about this year to be like, oh man, I just gotta like sit down and actually like study and take the test.
I would also like to get mine. I am like 1% there. You're probably like 95% there, and I have no business getting my GC license. It's just that I don't like having to funnel things through a GC, period.
You really should, because so the thing is with the test, like the thing is like the way I'm studying for it, like I'm actually studying like the construction part of it as well. So I'm doing extra more than I have to, just to like learn about all the extra construction concepts that I don't necessarily know that Doug knows more of, and that like if you're actually doing the work, you know more. So I'm being overzealous, let's call it, to study. But you really just have to know where to find the code in the book. The test is open book. So it's literally just being able to open the book and know where the answer is. You don't have to memorize anything. It's just learning the process. And so everyone that I've known that is a GC, they all take the class with the same person. I can send you the contact. It's
Yeah.
Peter McLowan. Him and his wife run a school. And ever since COVID, they even do it online now, which I think is really convenient.
Yeah.
And I think they sometimes do in person. The next class that they're running is in October because the code is changing. So the all new books are coming out. So I know that their next class they're running is in October now. The price is not, it's like $400 or $500 or something for all the classes. You really don't need the classes. Like you really could YouTube Academy if you really want to, but I think it's nice to like follow along. And they also hear feedback from the students of like, you know, here are questions that trip you up, here are not. And it's nice to have someone to ask those questions to. So
Yeah.
you can YouTube it if you want, but I do think the class is nice.
I love it. If you want, I would totally be your accountability buddy for that, just because I just don't like being beholden to some of these GCs out here. It's not that spectacular. Even on Haverhill, I ended up having a tiff with my guy who didn't want to come back to do the inspection because he was like an hour away working on another project, which I understand. But at the same time, biatch, close out your motherfucking permit, please, and thank you that I paid you for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of that, you should, because you can't do homeowners exemption since all your properties will always be in an LLC. So
Yeah.
they'll never let you do it, which sucks. And so yeah, you probably should. The only thing is inspectors, like, you know, anyone that actually has a CSL, if they see that you don't know like what you're doing, like they'll look at you and they'll be like, don't you have a license? Don't you know this? You should know this. You should know that. So like that's why I'm kind of being overzealous in studying for it, and not only like, oh, just to pass the test, but I'm just taking the opportunity to like actually go through questions and learn about like some of the more construction means. That way like an inspector's not going to trip me up if I go to an inspection and I don't know something, because I'm not always on the job site. Like I am sometimes, but like I don't really physically do work. So
Yeah. Interesting, because I feel like every time that I've seen an inspector come through and have a problem with something, they're always like, I'm not here to tell you how to do it. I'm just here to tell you whether it's right or wrong. And then you're like, but just tell me what you fucking want.
yeah, no, exactly. And like it depends on like who it is and what town it's in. Smaller towns are amazing. The bigger towns can suck. But like, you know, I just passed an inspection. I passed 2 inspections this week in Boston. Super easy inspectors. Like, and you know, they kind of know my face now in Boston. They kind of get used to seeing me. So
They
like
should know your face by how
they
much time you
do.
spend there.
The supervisor, like last week when I showed up, he was like, Rachel, you're not allowed to show up for another 2 weeks because I'm tired of seeing you.
By the way, so when we were talking about lenders, because I think you wrote me as well when I made that post, you said your lender is what? Interest, what?
So it's interest reserves. It's something we learned after our first flip. Our first flip is with a lender that actually doesn't really do, I don't want to say he doesn't do hard money anymore, but they don't do fast hard money. I think they got burned on some kind of deal. And so they don't do it anymore. I'm trying to remember who was the first one. But anyway, ever since then
What's your definition of fast hard money? Because I feel like standard hard money is 3 weeks.
Yes. So they don't do that anymore. Well, they did that on my first flip. And then ever since, what, like 4 years ago, then ever since then, when we went to go and shop it out with them, because they were really great, they close in like 45 days, 60 days.
Hmm.
So I think that they got, from what they said, they got burned on some kind of deal. I don't know how they do business if they close that fast. But anyway, ever since then, we've tried to only work with people that do interest reserves because it's really nice not to have to pay those monthly payments. We always build it into the construction budget, like regardless if they don't do interest reserves, like we'll pad the construction budget. That way we never have to take money out of pocket. Which is great. But
And this is for your clients that you do. So like if you were to do, no, this is just
For
for
us.
houses that you remodel. Got it.
yeah, so like if I'm building for a client, like the construction loan is on them. They figure it out with the bank. That's their problem. This is just for us. And then we do, so one of the biggest guys that do interest reserves in the area is Cardinal. I don't know if you know
Yeah.
them. So Cardinal does interest reserves where like they'll be like, hey, how long is the project going to take? And you'll say, oh, it's going to take 6 months. And they'll be like, okay, I'm going to set aside 8 months here for interest reserves for you. And then at the end, it goes at the end of the loan. You don't have to do the monthly payments. And then like worst case scenario, if you go over the 8 months, then like maybe you'd have to do monthly payments. But they set aside inside there.
An interest for that because I saw somebody, I think actually Backflip does something like that where it's interest deferred for at least 6 months to 12 months, something like that. And then like after 6 months, it kicks in. But I think the interest rate was like 11.25 for that. 2 points and
So-
11.25.
So the last one was it's 10 point what the last one that we paid? The hard money. Like 10.5. The last one that they gave us. Yeah.
And
10 and a half.
that's
With
interest
2
reserve.
points. That's with interest reserves, and then they do 2 points.
That's lovely, honestly. Like I get it in some places. And then how much are they loan to cost for that one? Like 90? 90 with the construction budget, I think.
Wait, Doug is like, oh, tell them that the money that's set aside on interest reserves that still accumulates on interest. So like you're essentially borrowing that money. So like
Okay.
it's nice not to have to pay the monthly thing, but then like you are like, let's say it's like the equivalent of like taking that money and borrowing it from like, let's say a private lender that you're paying. So you will pay interest on that money, but it's not coming out of your own pocket during construction.
That makes sense, right? At the end
Yeah.
of the day, that makes sense. Does he know loan to cost, how much money they're gonna give you for that? If you're doing construction, I would assume 90 and 100.
I'm trying to disconnect again.
I can hear. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Loan to cost, how much are they funding you?
Doug, are they 75% or 80% LTV or loan to cost?
They're 75, but I think they've done 80% for us over in East Boston, but
They're 75, but they have done for us 80. They did, our last project was like a super home run in East Boston, and that is true. So we did have a case where they bailed out on us 2 days before closing. So
Why?
So we had a project in East Boston. Doug's like, do not trust them, like any other person. So it's the same seller that we bought 2 properties from. So first of it, we bought the first property, 2 White Street Place. She was a hoarder, and she owned both properties. And the first one that we bought was fire damaged, and so the insurance paid for brand new everything except for the kitchen because she didn't have a kitchen there when it was burned down, so insurance did not want to pay for it. And so the house was unfinished without a kitchen, and she couldn't sell it because it had no kitchen, and she didn't have the $20,000 whatever to put in the kitchen. And then she refilled it with all of her hoarder stuff. So it was brand new. We spent 3 weeks on construction, and we told the lenders, we said, this will be very fast. We're taking out her trash, we're putting in a kitchen, and we're putting it up for sale. That's literally all. We like maybe painted the deck out back, but like we did very, very little. We did 3 weeks of construction. We're like, look, it's 3 weeks. We're going to profit $160,000. It's going to be very fast. You might not make as much money on this one because we're not going to hold your loan for very long. But this was maybe the first one I think we shopped out with Cardinal. Like, oh, we're starting a relationship, whatever. No problem, no problem. At the end of the story, they said it was a Thursday night and Monday was a holiday. No, it was something like that. It was like we had like 48 hours less. Monday was the closing. It was a Friday night. Monday was closing, and they said, "Hey, I'm sorry, we can't do this deal. It's not for us." And so they put us in a really bad spot because we did not have an extension on the contract. I don't know, the lawyers figured out something and got her to agree to like a 3-week contract extension. And then we did it with, does Luke have, we close?
H1, H2, Luke, and he closed it on Monday.
Are you sure? Okay, according to Doug, I don't remember. According to Doug, he said we closed it on that Monday. We got H1, H2 that they stepped in. They were really fast. And Luke is a good guy. He's the owner, so he's like, 100% on it. And so he closed and was able to make it work for us. And then he said to us, he's like, this is the type of deal that we want to see because it's fast. We see what you're capable of. You're making money. We test out the waters. You build a history with us. And this is great for us. And then we did construction in 3 weeks. It sold on the second weekend of open house and it was home run.
Love it. I got his numbers as well. I think it's like Brian Del Lalilo, something like this. That's just my point of contact for them. Brian Del something. Yeah, they came in a little bit high though. I don't know if the other thing that I tell people is like, this would be number 6 for me. My credit score is really good, 800. And then the other discount they usually give is depending upon how much money you have in your bank account. They want to see more, seasoned cash to know that you can cover blah, blah, blah. And then the last discount / bonuses if you have a GC license. They give you 0.25% discount on your interest rate. But yeah, I did Luke as well. He came in a little bit high. And so if I have a chance to shop, I'll definitely shop. But it's good to know that you can call him within 48 hours and for him to fund something that fast. That sounds lovely.
Yeah, no, that was really good because like I panicked and Doug was like, "Don't worry, and I'm gonna make some calls," and he figured out someone. He's very good with connections.
Do you have a trusted lender that you work with going forward? Did Luke do enough to like buy your entire business going forward, or do you still shop with Cardinal?
So we still shop with Cardinal because of the interest reserves. Luke did not do interest reserve from what I remember. Someone that just started doing it that we've been wanting to work with him, but we hadn't because he wasn't doing interest reserves is Eric. Eric used to work for New Western. And so he was our agent for New Western and he sold us our first flip. And so we've been like friends and friendly with him for a long time. And he works at Conquest now. So
Eric Sullivan.
Eric Sullivan, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So he now does, I don't know what his rates are because we've never worked with him, but now he did reach out and said, "Hey guys, I know you've been waiting for this. We now do interest reserve."
I should ask him because I didn't. So I shopped almost exclusively for a bridge loan. Essentially give me money for the property and they said you can do whatever the fuck you want with the money. And then the next one up from there is if I want them to give me more money up front, then I can do a construction, blah, 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 blah. But the one thing I think I did like about Eric is more into like high-end homes. So like 300,000 is the minimum. And then it goes up from there. Like if you're in the $500,000, $1 million range, they can do even better on points at that part. I don't think they even have really fees. They just, it's like 10%. I'm pretty sure it's 10% and 2 points. And then you pay for an appraisal. And I think the appraisal is like between 5 and 1,500. And that's it.
You're still talking about Conquest?
Yes.
I don't know. We didn't shop with him, but he said that he told us, he's like, "Hey, like Conquest is aggressive." So like he kind of insinuated that their rates are high to me last time we talked to him. Eric.
I'll forward you an email that I got from him for Brandy Brow. So Brandy Brow is my next one. Yeah. I don't know how he found me. I think he found me on Instagram. But yeah, 10%. I'll send you my sheet with him. 10.5 and 2 points. You know what? Actually, erase everything I told you. He's expensive when it comes to fees. He's like 5,000 in fees. So not only points, but he has an attorney fee, processing fee, loan servicing fee, appraisal fee. All of that adds up to like an extra 5,000. Yeah, he's a little expensivo.
Cardinal is expensive, I can say. Like having seen it and having seen all their fees, they have a lot of fees.
Yeah. I'm in the process of shopping. I have about 6 so far. I have another 4 to go. I talked to Chat Daddy, of course, and Chat Daddy gave me some other ideas about how to get even better. So we'll see what we can come up with. But right now, Backflip is the forerunner. I have Mark to thank for that. Mark has Janine Whitaker to thank for that. But so far, so good. I mean, one of the big problems I had with my last lender, who I love him, and I hate his assistant, which is crazy because like I'm very good to women, but I think she like lost her cool with me that she was taking out on somebody else. But I don't have to go through a middleman. I can just submit everything directly on the website. Like the interface is really good. Yeah. Anyway, so they're a current fan favorite of mine. Mark's been currently using them. I think so far so good. I don't think he's doing any draws with them. It's just a bridge loan for them. But I think they even gave him, so when it comes to points, their points go as low as 0.75. So the more deals you do, they discount it 10%, 10% until they get all the way down to 0.75. And then their lowest interest rate is 8.75%. That's and then 1750 is their document fee, 650 is their appraisal fee. If you did a probate and you already have an appraisal, they'll waive that and just take the appraisal. So I love it so far. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah. So we're shopping. That's what we're doing.
That is very good. Mark, how do you know Janine Whitaker? Oh, you're on mute.
I mean, through real estate circles, pretty much. Met her at some meetups. I met her way back in the day. Like, she knows one of my best friends, and like I used to hang out with my buddy and her stepdad, and so like sort of a little bit through that, but more recently through like real estate.
Yeah.
She's generating some leads. I'm going on an appointment with her tomorrow, and yeah.
Very cool. She's very active. I'm in a group on Facebook called Women House Flippers, Women, something like that. And
Yeah.
she's like super, super active in like the Massachusetts region. And I've connected with her, but I haven't had a chance to meet her yet. And I was like, oh, that's so funny that you guys know her.
Yeah, you should. She's cool. She's good stuff. Definitely you should connect with her.
Yeah. I know she makes like a big effort to like network and get people together, and that seems cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're flipping that property in Sanford, Maine right now. Just working on getting quotes for that. So yeah.
What other quotes do you need for that one?
We're pretty much wrapping it up. We just got some roof quotes. We're waiting on one more cleaning quote.
You're gonna go for the roof?
I don't know. We're putting it all out there and we'll see what we want to do. I think we're kind of like up to like, hey, we might spend like 30, 35 on this max. We think we can get 300 for it, and it might even sell for like 325 if we were to put like 30 into it. We bought it for 160, so it should be pretty good either way. Yeah.
So far, where are you at with things on that one? I don't think you have any contractors, but you're done trashing out. You did the yard.
Well, we're pretty much trashed out. We got to remove stuff just from around the exterior of the house, pretty much. I was like backpack blowing all that the other day. So we're pretty much good. 1 or 2 more days up there, and then we are selecting our 1 or 2 contractors that are going to be doing whatever light carpentry and some flooring and paint and whatnot. We want to decide if we want to do the roof or not. I think we're going to do the electrical service going in, but it's looking all right around 35,000 for that stuff.
What's taking you a minute to choose your contractor to come do in all the handyman stuff?
Like we've just been waiting. They've been slacking on quotes. They've been like slow on getting quotes, which is kind of annoying. And like one person didn't really want to quote that much, so we're like using him for some stuff and use the other one for the rest of the thing. So it's not ideal, but I think everything that we want to do is like 15,000 for like all of that actual work, and then like 5,000 for the electric service, and then the roof quote we just got was like 8,800 if they want to go over it, and then like another 3,500 for the garage if we want to do that. So I
That's
think
cheap.
yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Or it was like 15,000, or it was like 11,000 for rip and replace of the existing roof, and then like 3,500 for the garage. So we're trying to just decide like what we want to do. We should have them like booked and scheduled by the end of this week, I would think.
I think like the
Um,
number one question I get for any house that I sell, like everybody who walks through the door, grandmas and like normal people, they're like, how old is the roof? And I'm like, why do you care so
Yeah.
much? It's the number one question. So it would be nice if you could say like, yeah, it's brand new. It's brand new.
How much are
Yeah,
they
it would
charging
be
you
nice.
per
I mean,
square of the roof? Do you know?
oh, now you hit me with the hard questions. That only covered a certain amount of
Square
square, right? And then if they need new boards or whatever underneath, then there's additional, so I'm sure it will squeak up a little bit, but
Mark, do you know what a square is? A roofing square?
yeah, like a face, like square face foot kind of thing.
Yeah, but like
Uh,
how big is it?
Mm.
100 feet, 100 square feet is a roofing square.
yeah, so they'll be like, oh, your roof is 10 square, 20 square, 15 square.
I think
It's
you
a
were,
measurement. It's a
I think you were
unit of
saying something
measurement.
about 20 on the
20.
quote. Let's see.
Any
Just
advice
I
for me?
can because I have a few like really good roofing subs that do like my roofs for, I don't know if they go up to Maine, I can ask, but they can do like $150 a square.
Okay, yeah, this was installed 22 square of architectural shingles and ridge caps.
Do they say, and then what's the total, or does it say how much they charge per square?
No, I mean everything is 10,450 for the new roof for preparation, removing the existing, removing any bad decking, additional boards at 90 per sheet. Installing drip edge, ice and water damage protection, underlayment, 22 square of roofing.
I love how they put that in, but you're like, duh, it's a roof. They're like, okay, first we're gonna lay it out, and then and you're like, yes, it's a roof. Drip edge is included. Who's not fucking doing that? Who's not gonna put the ice shield, dude?
Well, at
Oh,
least all right, at least it's on there because a lot of
Yeah.
contractors
no,
are just
no,
like
that's
new
yeah, yeah,
roof. And then all of a sudden you're like, where's that? Well, what do you mean? I didn't count that,
Yeah, that's
Um,
that's probably like 475 a square. I can see if I know anyone that can go up to Maine. Because I have like 2 to 3 that we've used that are anywhere between 150 to 250 a square.
that's
I'm down for that.
crazy.
It's like near Rochester. It's like 30 minutes from Rochester, a little bit under.
Okay. Yeah, because like any of these big roofing companies, they will sub it out to these guys, right? So like you'll get the
Yeah.
same guys at the end of the day, but you'll
Yeah.
kind of cut out the middleman and then maybe work on your Spanish or Portuguese or something a little bit just to make sure. But they all have
I
insurance.
don't know about that.
They all have
Yeah,
the safety stuff. They have to
yeah, I need to.
One,
just cut out some
one,
cost.
I'll
one.
definitely take you up on that.
Yeah.
You speak Spanish, you speak Portuguese and sign language.
Both.
You speak Spanish?
Yeah, all three.
Uh,
You got to in this construction industry. It makes life easy.
Doug better kiss your feet every night. I swear to God. 150 a square. Does that include materials or it's just labor?
Just labor.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
And then
then
where
like
you like Home Depot?
no, so we have two people. One is like a very sketchy guy that we have bought roofing material from that Doug was like, I'm not doing this again because he didn't even give me a receipt and I do not know where this came from. And it came from like another contractor who has like this enormous company that they go to this guy. But Doug's like, I do not know if this is stolen. And then the other place, I don't know where I don't remember where I don't think it's Beacon, but it's something that he buys roofing supply. I can ask him.
I'd love to know. It's funny because on one of the flips that I did, I spent all this money on goddamn Benjamin Moore paint, right? And like I went through all the sheens, I went through all the colors. It was Squad 100, so like everything was super detailed. Everything was like a conversation. And then at the end, come to find out, I ended up going through three different painters. The last painter, I ran out of paint, and so he was like, "Go get me some more." He gave me the bucket. I ran around like a crazy lady trying to find it. I found it at Ace Hardware and they're like, we can't give this to you. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I have gone down the gauntlet to find this goddamn paint. And they go, it was discontinued 5 years ago. So all that bullshit of trying to pick the perfect paint to put on the walls and then like all of them complaining about like, oh, the coverage is really bad. Well, it's not us, it's the paint. Oh my God, I was so pissed. But like,
Benjamin Moore is really good paint, though. It's surprising that they would complain about that.
oh, everybody complains. Everybody complains. Every painter complains. And so I always say, just bitch, buy your own goddamn paint. Don't you dare complain to me and like go to town. But I have a good painter now that I like a lot. So better.
Some of the best paint prices you'll get is actually at lumber yards, surprisingly. Like we found there's Wilson, he works for me. He found this lumber yard that they were doing like Benjamin Moore, the highest quality paint, like super, super cheap, that he found out from a friend. And so we were paying, it was like $25 a gallon or something he had found.
Fell off a truck special. I love that. You're like, what illegal things are happening? I've done that before.
But this was an actual lumber yard that they sell paint like really cheap.
Some people have those like contracts, they can get the bulk discount, whatever, and sometimes that works. But yeah, I have a mattress guy that sells like Tempur-Pedic for like 300. And half the time I'm like, I'm not asking questions. I'm just gonna take my mattress and run, but I don't know what's happening. This scares me, but don't ask questions. Anyway, love it. What else are you working on lately? Rachel,
Me?
you. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I've been doing a lot like construction wise and less like real estate wise. Real estate wise, like we've been hounding a few leads. Like we have a list of like 6 that are medium warm that like every week we're talking to. I actually met someone. So this is like actually a really great story because of like have the balls of, so we were coming back from church Sunday morning and it's in Everett, and we're walking down and we see a lady outside and there's a for rent sign in the window. And Doug said, "Hey, how much are you asking for rent?" One of my tenants asked for one of his friends. And she's like 3,300 for like a 3-bedroom. I don't know. And he's like, "Oh, okay, sounds good. I'm gonna take a picture and send it to my tenant." And then we get in the truck and he goes, "Rachel, text her and just say, hey, like I'm gonna send it over so you could have her contact, and maybe a couple months down the line, we'll ask her to buy the building." And I was like, "Doug, you're ridiculous. Like she wants to rent her building. She doesn't want to sell the building. Like don't be like, that's so extra." He goes, "No, just send her a message." So then, "Hey, it was nice meeting you. I sent it over." And she responds. I was in shock for 2 days. Like she responds, she goes, "Thank you so much. Do you want to buy the building?"
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the level, I was like, I did not believe you. And I was just like, it was so funny. But anyway, it was a good story about having balls. And it's a cool property, but I think she's an investor and I think she wants too much money for it. And so we offered her a few like creative options with it, which I think would be interesting for her. But I don't think she wants to do any type of seller financing or creative deals because she just wants, I think she just wants the sale. But I think there could be a creative strategy for it. So that one's like we made her 6 offers at different price points and different interest points and different stuff. And so I think that could be a creative one. And then we've had a couple other like irons in the fire that we've been cultivating on the real estate end of things that we've been trying to get across.
So when it comes to your lead management, I know you're door knocking. I think that's your bread and butter. But how else are you following up with the leads that you're trying to close? Who does that?
So mostly Doug. Doug is really good with that and like making friends with people. He'll like message every month, every few weeks, like, "Hey, how's it going? How are you doing? How is everything?" Oh, hang on. One of my tenants is here to pay rent. Let me pick up rent from
Go
him.
do your thing. Go do
One
your thing.
second.
Veader, nice to see you. You grown ass leprechaun.
Good to see
I
you
like
too.
the swag merch that you got going on. When is your big summer party? Yes.
I do not know. I got a few other things that are happening, a lot of things that are happening.
What's going on?
Well, big news. I'm gonna be getting engaged.
Hey,
I love it.
congrats.
I love it. I love it. I'm scared for you.
I actually just went and got the ring today, so
Shut up. Let me see. Oh my God. Are you
Congrats.
okay? Are you sure?
yeah.
You want
It's not,
this?
I don't know why it's not. It's like
That's okay. Don't worry. I don't know. It looks huge. Oh my
um,
God.
so yeah, that's exciting.
Congratulations.
I am, and then in 2 weeks I'm going to Vegas for Alex Hormozy's scaling conference, his scaling work.
Nice.
So
Wow.
I'm very excited about that. Like like a little kid going to see like their like a superhero.
Dude,
Um,
lots of growth for you.
yeah. So that was like a goal of mine that I was thinking like 3 years down the road. Um, and I didn't even realize because I know like his whole thing with acquisition.com is that they buy into businesses, they invest in businesses, help them scale, but there's a minimum threshold in order to qualify. And they're doing a secondary offer that he just started this year because his number one, two, three, and four performing companies within his portfolio, the one thing that was different between those companies and the others is that he and his team had worked with them prior to acquisition. Like before they bought, invested in the business, they had worked with them prior. And they
Yeah.
are significantly outperforming the other portfolio companies. And so they started doing essentially like these scaling workshops. And um, it's like $5,000 a head. So I'm just going myself, representing the benchmark team. And basically, it's all of his actual people. So, like the
Yeah.
heads of every single one of his actual departments that are running his portfolio of companies, you just sit in small round tables. It's 2 day conference, and you basically have like, hey, what's your bottleneck, and how do we fix it? And they're just going to give you 3 to 5 actionable steps to do within the next 6 months. Like, do this now. Um, so something that we have had a struggle with is I think consistent customer acquisition. And I think especially something like I actually went and met up with Rachel and Doug not that long
Mm-hmm.
ago. Anna and I did.
Yeah.
That was super great. We talked for like literally all day. Um, and they were kind of talking about how there was a point where they were getting maybe like 40 leads per month, and then they kind of cut back on their overhead, and now they're getting like 7 to 8, which is pretty close to like where we're at. We're probably like somewhere between like 7 and 10 leads per month. Um, and a lot of our stuff is like we have a significantly lower referral basis um, because it's also high ticket. Like we don't do anything except for full scale remodels for kitchens and bathrooms. So usually it's far fewer people in a person's circle of influence that is ready to like drop 50 grand plus. Um,
Yeah.
so for us, like even if we do a great job, we don't have a ton of referral basis. It's not like, hey, come buy my window cleaning service, and then my friend also wants their window cleaned. Um, so we're trying to instead shift focus and focus more on becoming kind of like local celebrities so that we're the
Mm-hmm.
go-to for the area where we want to perform business and hyper focus on high performing neighborhoods. Like um, we're in a pocket locally where we're really close to Portsmouth, to Stratham, to Exeter, to Durham, Newmarket, like all of the surrounding towns where we are, Exeter, they have a lot of homes with a lot of money. So there's people that are doing 100+ thousand dollar projects. I think in this year alone, I think one of the coolest things for us, and this kind of seems like a weird angle to come from, but like we've lost more business in the last 6 months than like the last year. And the cool part about that for me, from a dollar perspective, the cool part about that for me is like we're getting higher ticket clients. And so we're bringing in more people that are looking for these services, and for one reason or another, they're like putting off the project for down the road, or they deciding to go a different direction or whatever. But we're getting more customers that are coming to us for higher tickets. So like our average ticket is increasing. For a long time, it was like around 30. Now, as of last year, it's up to 40 and then increasing. So I think most of the kitchens we're doing right now are like 50, 60, and just incorporating more things. We have 2 projects. One's for like a little over 100 and then another for 150 that we're working on. We've done we're almost to 700,000 in revenue in the last 6 months, which has like we did 780 in sales all of last calendar year. So,
Yeah.
just focusing on the systems, the organization. My mom left the school and she's coming back to work full time, which is great because I don't have to do all like the front of house and scheduling. And um, that was, it's been tough for me to like do that part of the business and the sales and work on all the systems and try and make things run smoothly. So I'm trying to be more on how do we make more content and feel comfortable doing that because that is not my forte. I do not feel comfortable in front of a camera at all. And so trying to like get over that hump and be like, stop being a little wimp, just do it.
You need
Make
all the
Stop
sure
being
you're-
tips
a
from
little what?
Anna.
Say again?
Yeah, I know.
Huh?
I was,
You got yourself a model, a built-in
yeah,
model.
I know,
you
I
need
know, I
Anna
know,
to
I
give
know, I
you
know.
all the tips.
I know, I know, I know, I know. And so I'm
Yeah.
literally using I'm telling her and because she's a complete opposite. Like she was like in grade school, like put up a 10-foot picture of me in the classroom. Like she literally had like a blown up picture of her in her school for like the queen school queen or whatever. I don't know. Um in Mexico. They do weird things. Um so yeah, it's not natural to me. So I'm trying to have her help me with that because I think that it would help our business tremendously. We started trying to learn creating meta ads, and a lot of them we've been doing still image, and it just doesn't convert really. It gets the recognition, like we have the vanity metrics, but it's not the ones that matter. And so
Yeah.
the actual click-through rate, I have a guy who's a family friend who I didn't even know did web design, and like I've seen this guy dozens of times. He's a good friend of my parents. For whatever reason, they didn't know he did web design. I'm like, how do we not know this? But anyways, we started using him kind of as like freelance work. And so he's basically helping us with our website for 50 bucks an hour, which is super sweet. And then we have a woman that we sold the kitchen to like 4 years ago, and she and her husband both work for HubSpot. Um, and so she's been helping us with our CRM. And so I have a powwow meeting. I was supposed to meet with her today, but I had to go pick up the ring. So, um, but once a week we meet, and then she basically like goes over an idea of something that I'm trying to either automate or make more efficient with our system. And I'm like, okay, here's the idea. I don't know how to do it. And then she's like, well, we can do this and this and this. So we've done so many different things. I've used different like AI receptionists. Right now we have an AI receptionist. I've changed the way that it's been structured like 42 times because our client base is super old. And so I'll have to listen to the way that they call it, like the call transcripts. And they're like, hello. And then it's like, hi. The receptionist goes and says what the receptionist says. And then half the time they're like, ah, and they just get frustrated and they hang up. And I'm like, okay, like, how do we make this process better? Like, I'm thinking like me and not like my client. And so,
Do you get that many calls that it's worth it to have an AI receptionist? And because I don't get that many
no.
calls. I just pick it up myself.
No, I just don't I don't think that it's necessarily worth it. The idea there was that it would all work in tandem. So like we have our CRM, which is the placeholder where we funnel everything. And so I have my landing pages on my website have Calendly integrations. And so what the idea here is that if I funnel everybody, like if the top is just any way somebody can contact me, and then that goes down one step and it all goes into Calendly, then I can book out a single calendar. I can hire one single person, which is my mother, to go in and just have all those phone calls, schedule all of those things. It's all in one place. And Calendly for 12 bucks a month does all the automation. So it does all the reminders. You can send follow-up thank yous. It's super easy to book too. And it tells you what it is. It gives you the time slot. Like I can customize it in a whole bunch of ways. So I like that better than having people come from all over the place and then it's really hard to organize. Like it's hard because then you have to be like, oh, let me get like a pad of pen and paper when this person calls me. So I would rather they pick a time more convenient to them when they will be available and they say, okay, you call me, we're gonna call you at this time. Um, the problem with that is with older people, they typically, even though it's like one step, it's like one step, and sometimes that one step is still too much. And so I'm trying to figure out whether it's worthwhile or not. I think I might just can it for the meanwhile until I can kind of subdivide the market of who our customer base is and put like a certain demographic towards that and then a certain demographic towards call. Um, but it's just kind of like little iterations that I don't necessarily, it's like unknown unknowns. I don't know how they're going to interact. And so I have to like build the thing and then just see how it works. And then from the results that I get, see how I might be able to tweak it and make it better. But yeah, just going on sales. I'm really excited about um, that in-person thing. So one of the biggest things is just like I want to have a consistent customer acquisition channel. Like I think that we have the people. I've got a couple full-time installers that are like, I want to be your solo guy. Um, and realistically, like I think we're just not capped out for time. Like we have a week here where we're not doing an install or not starting a job. Um, and so I'd say probably like maybe 20 to 25% of the year, in like calendar days, we're not actively on a job site, or I don't have my guys actively on a job site. And so that's like a tremendous upside. You know, if I can add 25% to revenue doing one thing, like just having more consistent client flow and I make more business, like um it's a huge thing for us. So yeah, we pretty much took my brother off jobs entirely. My brother had a back injury, so that kind of like escalated it. And he has a child and got married and has another child on the way already. Um, so
That boy gets busy no matter his back pain.
yeah. That's how he got his back pain. I was just
Oh, worth it. Children are worth it.
worth
That's my
it.
favorite.
Totally worth it. Um, so yeah, I think just same thing, like been focusing primarily on the actual business, um, significantly less on real estate. But I've also been realizing because I don't have the time to go out and generate leads myself, um, I've been trying to network with more folks local. So started talking to realtors more. I've kind of put the feelers out here and there of wholesalers, and I'm trying to because I'm going to be getting engaged soon, like Anna is working at a restaurant in Boston. I do not want her to be, so I'm trying to like get her out of there and bring her to New Hampshire. So the quicker that I can get an ex multifamily and get into that, the better. So I have a few options. I've been looking at some places. I went and looked at a place that's like right across from our office in Newmarket. But it just, I
Are
think,
you familiar with the Maple Birch Boys, Isaiah and is it Jake?
yeah, Jake. I've talked to them a bunch. So Jake is now doing a school community, which I thought was
Yes,
great.
yes.
I told him, and I went through our text. I reached out to him when school started, and I texted him because I was like one of two people that were going to his Saturday sales meetings when he first started them. And I was like, hey, like this is pretty much perfect for this. This is like why it was designed. I was like, I think you should look into it. I think it'd be great for you. And then almost exactly a year later, he started the thing and he like starts posting about it now. And so I reached out to him and I was like, awesome to see that you're finally doing that. So um, yeah, I don't really know how I presume that their business is doing well, because they're
I,
still
s-
going. I
I
don't
saw
actually,
I saw them with a multifamily that Isaiah's trying to dispo. I actually
yeah.
got back into sub to New England things because I'm putting on an event for Alexis Morgan. And essentially
Okay.
I was like, I'll just fucking take back all my shit and
Yeah.
blow it up. And so I looked into I'm cleaning up our emails, which is the dumbest thing ever. I don't even know why I bother. But there was an email from Isaiah. I can forward it to you if
Okay.
you're in contact with him, right? Like you have his number.
Isaiah does not. talked to Jake. Isaiah
Yeah.
did not get back to me. I haven't
All right.
talked to Isaiah since like I wanted to partner with them when I was still in the military. I was like, hey, you guys are doing I like what you guys are doing. We're like the same age. So I was like, young guys, you guys are just getting into it. I'm just getting into it. Like maybe there's some way that I can work with you guys. But they didn't have, there wasn't enough meat on the bone at the time. Like I was looking for the same thing and them as two partners. He was like sales manager and dispo. So they didn't like I would just be kind of dead weight.
Yeah.
Or trying to do one of their jobs for them. So it didn't make
Give
sense.
me, what's your email? Give me your email.
My
It's
personal?
LE, just give me the first three so I can find you.
Uh, I don't know what you would have. Maybe it's LV8, the number like LV, the number 8.
Yeah, I
My
got you. All
junk
right, so I'm
email.
gonna forward you an email. This is from Isaiah. He has his contact information on it, so I would just,
I have his number. He just doesn't get back to me. Jake gets back to me. Isaiah doesn't.
I
So
don't know.
Yeah, Jake's good about it.
yeah.
Jake will help you with whatever you want.
So
I was looking
I've
on,
reached out to them.
I was looking on Investor Lift recently and I saw he had a multifamily up in, I don't know, your neck of the woods, maybe just like southern. It's not my neck of the woods, so I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's somewhere in New Hampshire. So that
Okay.
might be a good option, like a 5-unit maybe.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I talked to a couple commercial lenders too. And that was great just to kind of understand how that works. So the building that
I
I was
have,
looking at in Newmarket is a commercial, but it's just same thing as what Rachel was saying with that property with the woman. It's like they want too much money for it. The guy is out of state. He's an investor. He in 2019 just bought like dozens of doors. Like, hey, I'm gonna go buy 100 doors anywhere. And it was like all over New England buying properties, and it just the property doesn't really support itself. So he's trying
um,
to leave it and kind of take and tighten up his portfolio. So
I went to a meetup with Andrew Freed and Zach Gray, I think. Really blew me away, those two, because I've known I think I knew him like 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago. He didn't have much going for him at the time. He was just doing meetups. And then within the last year, 2.5 years, he acquired like 300 units with his partner Zach Gray. And the way that they did it, I think their secret sauce, if at least that's what I got from the takeaway. And I have some slides that I took pictures of that I'll put my notes in the Facebook group so you can take it away. But was he at 6.5%? Mark, do you remember?
He was saying 6.5% for construction loans, but that was not, I don't think it was including acquisition. It was for the renovation afterwards or something. I might
I
be
don't know,
wrong, but I think
cheap, cheap construction money. So the way that they do it is a little bit different. They're young guys, they can take on the nastier stuff. But on top of it, they said the reason why they've had the most explosive growth is really understanding banks and having good relationships with them, and then being able to pull those commercial loans when they need to. So I'll post my notes for that. There you can reach out to them. Andrew Freed, he runs his own meetup, Simplified REI out of Worcester, and then Zach Gray, who's his business partner. Just a guy who owned a gym, or I think he was a personal trainer, and then used to go to his meetups, and then they got together and started just blowing everything apart.
yeah.
But I would love to see you do commercial stuff, be a little bit more fluent in that. Rescue your damsel in distress in shitty Boston. I cannot get over you have a ring on you.
Yeah.
You're a dangerous man, but I love it because the growth that I've seen you have, just even from the beginning of this year, like I started this talking thing February, March 1st, I think. So within 3 months, the growth you have had, sir, is impressive.
Move
Bravo.
quick.
Yeah, bravo.
Thanks.
All right, these are recorded and I do post them on YouTube. I will not post it until you tell me that you've asked.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, please wait.
You never know what she's looking at. So yeah, don't worry,
Yeah.
I got you.
She's Latina, she'll find it.
No, I know.
She'll
I'm
find it.
immediately scared. Do you have a day when you think you're gonna do it? Do you have something in mind where you want to go?
Oh yeah, so she's coming with me and a group of my friends up north this weekend for the 4th. We're going up to Franconia, up to like near the White Mountains. So yeah, it's a plan.
exciting.
Good stuff, dude.
I'm
That
excited.
changed fast. 3 months. Goddamn. Bravo to you.
Yeah.
So going forward, what do you need? I mean, I love the, what's it, Alex Hermosi thing. $5,000 a head is really affordable.
Oh, I know.
Um,
I thought it was gonna be quadruple that.
yeah, yeah. How long? It's a week or something?
2 days. So
Okay.
it's very, it's like quick and dirty, but um, I'm excited for it. And I would love to be able to come back and because basically what I'm going to be asking them is customer acquisition, just kind of big picture, but also directly related to my industry. So anybody in construction, high ticket sales, etc. So that's the objective. So I
I
mean,
love it.
probably same thing for real estate agents or property acquisition from investors' standpoint. Kind of similar, very similar. Um, so yeah, that's the idea there. I'd love to be able to share all that once I come back. What I need though,
Okay.
in the short term is opportunities for multifamilies in New Hampshire, specifically within well, I'd say like more coastal, Newmarket, Durham, Rochester, Somersworth, Dover, those places. Um, that's I have
You want a house hack. You want a house hack for
correct.
your first one. You
Yeah.
need it to be 4 doors and under. Yes?
So I have a duplex. I have some equity in that I could do a HELOC to help if I need to. I also have the option for a VA loan and I can get another. It's been, I think, 2 years since my first VA loan. So if it's four and under and it's not in like tear down condition, I can probably use a VA loan and then very little out of pocket. I bought my first duplex for $400 out of pocket. So um, that's kind of the goal again, is to do something little out of pocket, especially because I have the resources that I have for remodeling. So I'd like to get something that needs new floors, new paint, new kitchen, new baths, because I can do all that for cheap. I can do it myself, or I can hire my guys in-house to do it. Um, Keep some of them busy on a week where I don't have a job for them. It's kind of what I've been doing right now. We like redid all the lights in our showroom. Um, and so yeah, I need opportunities, things that I don't have the time to either go door knock or send out
Mhm.
mailers or whatever, make the phone calls. And then understanding lending. I've only done two deals. One was to get the showroom. We did seller finance and we stumbled into that. The guy that sold us this building had was a career construction guy. He was an architect. He had done like eight seller finance deals over his lifetime. He had his own attorney. We walked into it. He loved us, loved the family business. He was like, my wife is forcing me to retire. We're going to Florida. Do you want it? I'll write up all the details. This is fair. And
Yeah.
I did the
When you
numbers
say
and I was like, yeah, it's fair.
when
So
you say you want to get into lending, what are you saying exactly?
get into lending, like I want to understand it better. I want to be able now I feel like I'm more confident in at least underwriting from a commercial standpoint, understanding like the 75 loan to value and the um what is it? I wrote it down. But essentially like essentially the
You'll get
ratio
there. When
the
you're in the
yeah
zone, you'll get there. Don't worry.
the ratio in order to determine whether it makes sense from a deal. Like they want to basically 1.2 times your your cost, your
The
DSCR.
1.25 DSR they
Yeah,
typically.
yeah. Debt to service ratio. That's what it is. So the one I was talking to, he said a minimum 1.2 or 1 to 2 debt service. So yeah, I mean like that's stuff pretty easy with good old ChatGPT. I can come and underwrite a property in 5 minutes or less. So that's cool. The VA, I have a couple like local lenders, but this is great. One of the reasons I wanted to come on this call is to just kind of get options for new people that I can reach out to and form relationships on the lending side. Um, I think kind of everybody at some point just needs more money. Um, so yeah,
Jace, can we talk to you about money, please? So
Always.
this this week, so Jace is, look at her, PML baddie, right? She's based out of Texas, actually used to live up here in Massachusetts at one point. Owns a couple of doors, not only in Massachusetts, randomly on the Cape, but also in the Carolinas. And has a strong, in my opinion, a strong construction background. So she does private lending, usually in second position.
You gap, yes.
Yeah. And then, so one of the questions I have is this week I've been shopping like a mad woman when it comes to hard money
No, you've been
because
at it.
I spend too much time on my flips trying to get it right, and it's expensive. And so the best one I have, and I have a whole spreadsheet, so I'll give you so you can see apples to apples what everybody's offering, maybe whatever. So I have that. But the question I have is there's a lot of freaking lenders out there apart from numbers, interest rate, interest points, fees, time, how fast they can do it. Rachel on the call said that she had Cardinal lined up. For whatever reason, it was a fire damaged house, like at the last minute, they bailed on her and then she had to go to somebody else. So apart from, I don't even know what you would call that, the follow through that they'll actually do the deal, how fast they can fund the deal, and then those other like the normal mechanics of it. What else does a lender do for me that makes them special? That I would be like, I want to work with this guy.
Yeah, this is a really good question. And I love that you're looking at everything apples to apples, Suzanne, because there are so many, like, everyone's like shops interest rate, but they don't think about the origination points and all the fees. And like, so I know guys that have really great rates and then they slaughter you in fees, right? Because you don't ask, well, how much are you going to charge me for an appraisal? Do you charge me for draws? Do you charge me to inspect the property before I can get my draws? So that's a really important thing is understanding, okay, what are the actual fees associated with this loan? If you're working with a smaller private lender, it's probably going to be a lot more straightforward than when you're working with, like a local hard money lender, but you're like, they may not have the available capital and they may command higher rates. So like there's pros and cons of everything. Um, I love,
I'm gonna pause you here. I'm gonna do
yeah,
that calculation at the end. So like if I'm borrowing for 6 months and these are all the costs involved, what's my overall net rate? So that if I
yeah.
did just go to a private lender, I could be like, give me 18, I'll give you 18%. It's cheaper for me if I do it this way. Yeah, so I'll
Yes.
put that in as well.
And
Jeez.
prepayment penalties too, because prepayment penalties, like
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
loan to you
yeah.
for 12 months, but I'm gonna require interest only and I'm gonna require 6 months of interest, even if you finish in 3, even if you finish in 22 days, even if you whatever. So um I love working with like when my borrowers are working with a local hard money lender who has construction, like I love seeing hard money lenders who also flip because they have resources all day long. And if you get in a bind, like there's one guy who's local and he wholesales, he flips, and he's a hard money lender. Right. So I know, okay, my contractor went to jail again, right? Like, I need somebody out here yesterday. I can call James and be like, hey, who do you know who can get, and he'll kind of do favors for his borrowers because that's the nature of the relationship, right? Um, and I do the same thing for my borrowers. Like, if you need a resource and I have it, I'm gonna share it with you. I want your project to be as successful as it possibly can. I review your scope of work, I review your numbers. Yeah, it's covering myself and protecting my interest in the property, but I had guys come back with a roof quote that I thought was a little like low. I was like, "Hey, are you guys replacing the whole roof? Or are you doing a repair? Like, what is this? Why is this so low?" And he's like, "Well, the roofing guy is my brother-in-law." I don't know. They were like all buddy buddy. They all went to high school together. It was his brother-in-law, and like he was doing it at cost. I'm like, okay, cool, great. But I don't want his numbers to be off or wrong because if they are, he doesn't make money and I don't make money. I want my borrowers' projects to be so successful that they make a shitload of money and come back to me the next time. with their next project.
I feel like I don't know private lenders that do that. Maybe it's me that I never thought to reach out to them. But I like obviously, you know, holistically, what's that word? That's like everything is sunshine and rainbows. But like ideally, you would want to have like a close working relationship to keep the money moving, to keep the projects moving. But I can also see, like, I've seen bad lenders out there that like they don't care to help the person because they're like, at the end of the day, I have paperwork. I'll get my money no matter what. The longer you hold it, the more money I make, and I don't have to roll it into another project. So, you know, whatever. Yeah, so I do like your approach. I wanted to ask you too, like, how's your lead flow? Like, you know, Lee's talking about it, just getting more and more deals. How's your lead flow?
It's been good. I have a little bit of cash sitting on the sidelines right now. I had a deal that fell through last minute. The buyer decided not to move forward, or the borrower decided not to move forward with it. So that kind of like, I like to keep capital deployed. Okay, I know this project's going to be up in a month. I'm already looking for the next thing for it. So when things fall through at the last minute,
Would you
it's
not
never,
would you not buy that deal? Like I always thought like TCs have a front row seat to like they know the whole deal. They can see it
yeah.
fall apart. They know resources. Like why would you just not be like, "Oh, let me be your hero and get me less money. Thank you." You know?
Yeah, that's a great question. So these particular funds are out of my self-directed IRA, which means I cannot be a material participant
Oh, yeah, yeah.
in the renovation. And I'm like, I'm not flipping with my self-directed IRA. If I can't loan them to myself where I can go GC it or do whatever I want to do. And I I just don't care to find there's a lot of money in that account, or if I have to pay taxes on it.
What
Pardon my
about if
French.
what if you were to sell the lead to somebody else that could do something with it and to introduce it? Because at the end of the day, if you get the seller to almost the finish line, trust me, they want to sell. Even if they're pissed off, they still want to sell because they have an idea in their head, which is this is going to finish. And when it doesn't finish, is really not good.
That's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah,
Go do it. Let me know what happens.
I will.
Where's
Yeah.
the deal?
That one was, I think it was Tewksbury. There was a septic issue.
Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Bitch, what are you talking about right now? I'm so mad at you.
There
What
was
are
a
you talking
septic, like,
about
no, there
right
was a
now? What?
unpermitted septic, I think. I don't know. I have to go back and look at it.
So that's fine.
Gimme.
Okay.
Sorry, Mark, go ahead. Give me,
Oh,
please.
that's fine.
Tewksbury, are you kidding me? I'm
I
sweating
have to look.
immediately. I'm mad. Go ahead, sorry. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, let's work it. What do we got?
Okay.
Tewksbury is like Andover, just a little bit further away. They're kind of
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's like a 3-bedroom, 1-bath ranch for like $900,000. And you're like, why in God's name? But it's not that far away. So it's a septic. Listen, who cares? It's septic. It's
Okay.
poop. Everybody deals with septic. You can do a sewer tie-in or you just do a new poop tank. They can be expensive, but it's not a deal breaker. It's not at all. Who's your person? Are these the two guys that flip in Brockton?
No,
Who is
no,
that?
this is a friend of my cousin's. Yeah. I don't know. Let me go through my file. I'll look at it and see. I'll
We got
text
buyers.
him too.
I'm sweating. Tewksbury, get the fuck out of here.
That's
Are we
so
not
funny.
friends? Like, what is going on with you
I'm
right
sorry.
now?
I didn't even think, girl, I didn't even think about like I didn't even think about
Tewksbury. See, this is the thing that I don't understand is like when TCs have a deal, they know the deal so intimately. How the hell do you guys just like, throw it away? Where you're like, oh, it didn't work. Throw it away. It means nothing now. I don't understand that. Like to the finish line, guys. Like whatever it takes, my guy. Oh my
and
God.
that's something that I can definitely do better. Like, and I'm a nosy bitch. I'm in my client's stuff. So but I hadn't thought to like move the lead to somebody else.
I don't know that anybody does that, but it to me, it
It's
just
not a
makes
bad
zero
idea.
it makes zero sense that you've been hired as a TC to get something through to the finish line and it blows up, right? Unless it's like unless these people are like nightmares, and I've seen that before. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, like a deal is a deal is a deal that wants to get done. there's survival of the fittest, whoever that's going to be to get it done. And even if you have to refer it out and say, listen, this deal blew up at the last minute, they can't continue with it. Would you like to do something with it? Maybe we can find a way to get them some sort of money to the previous buyers so that they'll be willing to let it go or make the introduction. But yes, we don't throw things away out here. We squeeze everything.
I guess I should have known by you and Mark's commentary on everything where you guys are just following deals throughout the lifespan. Like, look,
mean,
this one popped up again.
Yeah, well, the whole goal at the end of the day is to do deals. Like
Yeah.
I used to have people talk to me all the time and they're like, what can I do to help you? What can I, whatever. I'm like, bitch, do deals. That's the
Yeah.
only time you know what's real, because everything else is hypothetical. Everything else is hearsay. But when you walk the fire, you're like, this is real. This is not real. The end. Like, it's just different.
But also, that's how you get like the actual great deals is from follow up, and sellers have been under contract 2 or 3 times. They started wanting 300 and then they signed under 200, right?
Yeah.
Because they've been through the ringer and they just want to get it done.
Mark, tell them your Sanford story. I love this story.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing
Huge
there.
ones.
Like we walked it with him and he was like, I'm at 250, which was like market value if it didn't smell like cat piss. And it needs a little bit of work. And we were like, okay, well, we can't pay that. We're like under 200, but like we would sign with you at the 250 and see if we can bring any cash buyers who would want to do it for rental. Then you can get your price. We'll keep anything over it. He didn't want to do that. He signed with somebody later that night for 235, close in 14 days. Like 2 days before closing, the buyer called them and was like, "Hey, we can't close unless it's like 185." So like we had told them like, "Listen, we're gonna wholesale your property. We're gonna sign you at 250 and we're keeping anything over." Most of these other people, they're not gonna tell you that they're doing that, but that's what they're gonna do, right? Or they're just not gonna be able to get it done or whatever. So I just was open with him about it. And then 2 days before closing, they called him and tried to renegotiate. And he was like, "Well, you guys are right. They're trying to renegotiate to 185." I was like, if you want to get it done and you're okay with that price, do it because you can close in 2 days from now. And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. So then we were going to sign with him at 200 sub 2. And then we were just going to wholesale it, like literally just clean it out, do nothing else and put it on the market. And then he didn't like the sub 2 agreement paperwork. So he didn't sign that. And so I texted him. I was like, look, we can close in 14 days. We will actually close on it. But we have to be at like 150 to 165. He just responded with like at this point and nothing else. So like I ran upstairs, I drafted the offer at 160. I even left money on the table because I could have got at 150. Like I could have got on the low end of that range, but I just figured, hey, split the difference, get the deal. So then I woke up the next morning and it was signed at the 160. So that's the one in Maine that we're doing. So again, he went through the ringer. It's like just the follow up. Yeah, I think that stuff is important.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Terry, definitely send some info. And Suzanne, if you
I
want to
will.
flip it, cool. If not, sure we can find some buyers,
Suzanne, one thing that you should talk to your like hard money lenders about, and especially smaller outfits, is I saw, and I've seen this with clients now a few times. They submit everything that they need for the draw, and the lender pushes back and says, oh, well, you didn't do XYZ. And they're like, no, I did. It's right here. And they spend kind of days going back and forth. So sometimes your smaller outfits, if they have a borrower who didn't make a payment on time, or they're waiting on to be cashed out on something, they don't always have available capital for the draw, and they're trying to delay and make it seem like it's your fault. So just
For the
something to
most
keep
part
in mind.
for the most part with the draws that I've had, they've been institutional. They
Yep.
use some sort of like software app that I have to download, that I got to pay somebody to go stand out there with their GPS on and take pictures. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, as long as I'm not being shady, for the most part, they're not being shady. But again, I've seen bad lenders before, and it's just you're in hell until you can get out. So yeah, one resource that I have for the Creative Elite is a list of regular referrals, people we like. And then I also have a blacklist in there. So you can actually not recommend something. You just have to give a reason as to why. And then even if somebody doesn't recommend something, it's still your judgment whether or not you want to, move forward with that or figure some things out. But we do have, I'm not here to like talk too much drama, but I do want to know who bad actors, bad players, like people I just don't want to mess with. And you have to submit a name. So you have to be like Suzanne said this person sucks, sort of deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen it here in Texas, but I've seen it now with a couple hard money lenders with a couple different borrowers. So I don't think it's just a borrower issue. If it was like Kathy every single time, I'd probably be like, Kathy, get your shit together, send them an actual packet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Anyway, all great information. So I have that spreadsheet. I'll share it. I have just like 4 more else that I want to take a look at, and then I'll summarize it too, because I know some people look at spreadsheets and they just go blind.
yeah,
Those guys are not my friends, but I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'll summarize it. Claire, can I say hi to you? I apologize. I know you're in here. I think actually,
Hi.
do you know Adam Surjekadzega like that?
Yeah,
He's from,
yeah.
yeah, he said he
Adam,
went to
yes.
your meetup recently,
Yeah, we had amazing time. Yep. It was awesome.
co-living.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah. So what is
Yeah.
this meetup that you have? You have a network of co-live. Just explain to me because I don't know.
All right, awesome. Hi, woman. Yes, I run the how we call this co-living investor alliance of New England, if you will. So it's for everybody that is interested in fast flow and co-living as a asset class from the operational standpoint, regardless if it's a single family, multifamily. But the fact of the matter is that this area in New England, co-living works really well, but on multifamily, not in single family, given the how many people can live in a single dwelling. What I have been doing this since 2016, 17. So yeah, so finally that Fastplate is coming to, it's officially launching in Boston and all this area. We're now running monthly meetups with investors, realtors, lenders, everybody that is involved. But in the last one, we had someone came from New York who cost about like, I think like a 500 Fastplates or 500 rooms in Fastplate, like very cool, sharing all the story. And we have someone that has several multifamilies in Boston telling, sharing all the deeds and how he operates, what he has. So it was very like high. And we have again Cliff Johnson, which is the president of Fastplate, joining us every month. So we have one July is going to be online, it's vacation time. And then the next one is going to be in Rhode Island. For the end of August is going to be in Rhode Island. We're preparing the details to launch the in-person event in Rhode Island.
I love it. So how big is your network right now?
My mailing list is about 300 people. The first event, the launch one, was like 70 people. The day that we have the event is when we have the massive heat wave, when it was like 100 degrees. So we have, I think, maybe from 35, 40 to sign on, we have like a dozen, 15 people in this one. But well, we had pizza for days. But no, that's I think the one online is going to be very well attended. And the one in Rhode Island is with everybody that is like ready to roll in that area. Yeah.
Are you in charge of this group?
I am. You're looking at me. Yep.
Do you have somebody helping you too, or is it just you?
The one and only an AI.
I love it.
Yep.
So I'll reach out to you. I have a girlfriend coming up, Alexis Morgan. She's through the Sub2 network. She used to work hand in hand with Abraham Gray. They ended up going their separate ways. It'll be something that comes out at a later date. But she's fabulous. She was 18 years old when she was wholesaling in our dorm, and then now has deployed 35 million. So she was Abraham Gray's trusted person. She launched a company. She started teaching classes on how to safely lend and invest money. I think even they have a score record of like 100% money secured. I don't think they've ever had to lose money. I think they might have done one foreclosure over the course of however many years, but she's kind of a little bit of the authority when it comes to safely lending money, which is a huge theme that we have in our real estate organization. So I think everybody here, with the exception of Rachael, is in this real estate group called Sub2. And one of the problems is that people get hurt, people lose money. And so it's a big conversation about how to do things safely. Even though they kind of teach you how to do things safely, they also encourage a bunch of young people that don't know what they're doing to shove deals across the finish line, and people get very financially hurt by them. So I am a big person when it comes to doing things the responsible way, because I've done things the wrong way, and that was no fun for me. Yeah.
I hear you. I empathize with you. It's something that I also see in the co-living community, in the in the rush to get past splits, all up and coming and I was in Denver now in less than a month ago in the co-living conference in Denver, the first national co-living conference. And I saw the students from, different groups and things like that they don't know what a cap rate was, like, oh, wow, like, cap rate is. So many like basic financial terms that you need to know, like to fully understand what are you doing as a business. And then they get distressed, they don't know how they think, possibly a co-living unit can solve any financial problem. But when you are over water, you don't run your business well. There are many risks that you need to oversee. So we have a place to meet that holds like up to 300 people in Winthrop. It's the Cottage Park Yacht Club in Winthrop. It's by the water. Since I'm a member, I have the member price, and I'm happy to offer to you that works for you.
Did you say 1,500?
No, 300.
300, Jesus, okay.
300, and it has a bar, so all the things. I'm happy to check if the 23rd is available. And if we can book it, we can do it.
It's Wednesday, it's a weekday, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a weird thing at all to pull off. At the end of the day, it's a great opportunity. So she's now that she's separated from that guy, she's trying to make sure that her brand is still intact. And so that's why she's coming around. So she doesn't really come up to here. Last time I saw her, I had to travel down to Atlanta, but she's wonderful, super well networked, really does the damn thing. And so I'm happy to have her up here. I'm happy to sponsor her. So I'll touch base with you. I have a whole list of other meetup venues that I've done in the past, and you're welcome to take a look at it. Each one is a different flavor. I always like to do something new and different. So I used to do meetups back in the day. I think I did about 10 before I left to go do some other things. So I'm happy to share that with you, but I'm happy to see you in here. I'm thankful for you. Yeah. So thank you.
Good to see you. Anything I can be, helpful with, happy to. By the way, talking about Atlanta, October 17, 18, it's going to be the first co-living woman investor conference for co-living in Atlanta. Only women investors.
Are you running that, or who's doing it?
I'm helping running the organizers, Jasmine Brown and Caitlin Verdugo. So it's only women speakers, but I'm one of the main speakers because of what's happening in Denver.
What's the name of your organization? It's Co-Living New
Mine?
England?
No,
what's the name of this?
My company is called Co-Living Cash Flow. The meetup is the Co-Living Coalition of New England. It's called that's how we call the meetup. But my company is called Co-Living Cash Flow. Let me send you the link to the conference.
How old are you guys? Co-Living Coalition of New England.
We are not that old. We have done like 3 meetups so far.
That's
past split just started here. So that's how all this thing started. I shared in the comments the link to the conference in Atlanta. I have a discount code, but also they're looking for maybe more woman speakers because early on we have time to, shape these things.
You're welcome to post in Creative Elite for anybody that's interested. And then the last question I have for you is, what are you buying for co-living? Like, so you have a meetup, which is super impressive. The fact that you've only been doing this for like less than a year and have 300 members that regularly attend events, that's amazing. But
thank you.
Apart from that, I've
been doing co-living for 10 years, so that's why. We like to find triple deckers, mostly multifamilies that can be converted to maximize some 4 rooms per floor. So triple deckers that have minimum 1 bathroom with the ability to make 1.5 bathrooms, or actually even 2 bathrooms, and 4 bedrooms. If it has 3 bedrooms and we can make it a 4 bedroom, that's like gold. Maybe like in 1 more. And then triple deckers close to work or close to public transportation. Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Now that we're going to Rhode Island, I think that's what everybody's going to look for. And there are, I had buyers that want to do complete, turnkey properties, but also have buyers that, hey, I want to put some value add and do some renovation in there. So I buy in full sizes for multifamilies.
Clara, do you have a buy box written out? Sorry, Mark. Do you have your buy box written out?
No, but I can share it. It's easy. It's 3 units or more, basically 3 units.
Can you?
Like Boston?
Everywhere near Greater Boston area, Worcester, near any college town, that also works. Near any hospital, near public transportation. Worcester is great. All greater Boston area, near the commuter rail, even Lowell, all over the place. Because we have one person who went to the to the first meeting, to the co-living the first meeting here in Boston, in Winthrop, and she posted, she launched a property in Worcester, and by the and 2 weeks later it was completely full in basket.
Wow.
So yeah, the demand is insane. And this time of the year, the time to launch, anything until October will be fully booked before the school year begins. You know how it is.
I'd love to get some insight on that too. Where I have my
Yeah, sure.
business and where I'm looking to get some more multifamilies is literally right next to University of New Hampshire. So
Yeah, perfect. That works. I'm happy to like help you with layouts, you know, best practices.
yeah.
I'm
10
presenting. Yes.
10
I'm
years
happy-
she's been at this.
Yeah. I used to
Hey, you said
run,
2016,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. I used to run the largest I used to run the largest, one of the largest cleaning companies here in Boston until 2020, until COVID. So I have all the background to support.
Claire, do you have a like PowerPoint presentation that shows like because
A
what I'm
complete
thinking
class.
is, Rachel, I'm thinking about that house that you said that she wants to do something creative, but she's asking for too much. If co-living is an option, I think that was the 3-bedroom one. If co-living is an option, then there might be some synergy there. But Claire, I would love to know a little bit more about what you do, even if you had a PowerPoint presentation to like walk people through, because not only
Yeah.
do we have leads of stuff that you can buy, but also I think if it would give us another exit strategy for things that make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy to teach everybody how to order on the right for
Thank
co-living.
you.
I do a class for that, but you know, we can schedule for another date.
Yeah.
I'll bring a whole presentation, how, you know, what it is, how it works, what is it for, and how to make it work in these areas of the country, which is very
So
different. And the way that they do it in Texas and in Florida, completely different than what it actually works in New England,
I love it. I do.
which is
So
very
we have
interesting.
we have
Yeah.
these calls
All
every
right.
Tuesday, and the goal for the call is essentially to meet each other to do more deals together. And so we get to meet each other. We talk about what we're doing, what we're hoping to do, and that's it. We're just trying to help out each other to do more deals. But I would love to have you back any Tuesday of your choice.
Okay, amazing. Thank
Okay.
you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll follow up with you for
Yeah,
venue location
problem.
too, because I have some nice places too. I just want something special for
Oh.
Alexis. That's all. Yeah.
Or
This idea,
Say it
I
again.
close by the yeah.
What did you say, married man? What did you say?
I have this idea. So I want to do co-living. I think it's fantastic. I haven't done one yet, but I think it's a fantastic idea. But I would like to do co-living because Newmarket is like a baby Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which is
Mhm.
like a very nice, very, very expensive area. And my uncle owns a coffee company in Seattle, which is the
Oh, nice.
oldest coffee roastery in the whole country, like predates Starbucks.
No
Um,
way.
yeah, it's called Pegasus.
No
And
way. That's
so
awesome.
he is from New Hampshire and like his dream is to be in downtown Portsmouth, to have or like expand and come over here. And so I would like to test that in Newmarket because it's like baby Portsmouth. And so my idea is that like the people who live in Newmarket are already super artsy, like barista types. So have a co-living and then have a coffee shop underneath that they all work at.
They would
You know what?
implode
That's
at that
actually
point.
doable. Actually, numbers kind of work well for that use mix. But we can discuss a little bit. Yeah, did you have a commercial with a steady cash flow already coming, and did you have a 2 co-living, 3 unit co-living operation on top? The
Mhm.
numbers are beautiful for that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there's a property that I've been looking at that's a 5-unit commercial on the bottom. It's an eyeglass store.
Okay.
And it has 3 units built on top of it, and then a separate unit in the bottom. Only problem is it's like guys asking for too much, and there's potentially some issues as far as the long-term structural integrity.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Happy to discuss, even if it's a financial exercise,
Mhm.
for you to see how this works. And then if this is
Yeah.
not the right unit, then you'll find another one, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I mean it's
Okay.
been on the market on and off for 3 years. So I went and looked at it twice. I had a buddy of mine come and take a look at like it needs siding and new windows and some roof patchwork. So my goal was to kind of throw a couple offers at him and then use that as leverage. And then I also know because the realtor was this, a straight shooter that he's an investor and wants to pull the money into some properties that he wants to keep that are local and just like use some of his better performing assets and make them nicer to make them even more better performing. But he's out of state, so I have a kitchen and bathroom company that's right across the street. Like I can walk to this place. So because of that, it'd be very convenient for me. So I don't even know if anybody's done that, but I want to use the fact that I have a business and can offer him the materials and the labor as part of leverage for the deal or the offer is like why he would want to go with me, even if I give him a way worse offer.
This is the one right downtown Newmarket.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember. I think I walked that property forever ago. They still haven't sold that?
Nope,
Same
nope.
owner? No kidding.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
he bought it in 2019, and he's listed it once a year for the last 3 years with three separate agents.
Nice. You know,
So he's not doing so hot. He's not doing
Yeah.
so hot.
That's funny. Nice.
Mark, what have you been up to? You and your first flip.
Honestly, I've been spending more time up there than I want to be. I haven't been following up on leads as much, so that was like a catch-up day today, trying to just get back, get some tasks ahead of me instead of past due. So yeah, I don't know. I've been focusing on that. The land deal I brought to New Western, they sold it in like 3 hours. So that's great. That'll be a good like 40K fee. Hopefully closing like in 10 days. July 10th is the closing date, so let's get that thing done. Have an offer sent out to a single family in Westford. The guy's on vacation, right? And he's not looking at anything until after the 4th, but he talked to one of his brothers. He's very seriously considering it. So I have that. I just sent out an offer tonight for a single family, like new construction in Wellesley. That's it. It's kind of like slow and low. Nothing really crazy going on right now. Yeah.
Why are you spending more time at the flip than you had intended?
Well, like I didn't think that we were going to be cleaning it out ourselves, right? I thought we were going to hire people, but then we were kind of like looking at budgets and what we actually want to spend. And plus, it's my first one, so whatever. Like put the work in, and I realize it sucks. So like next time, I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, just like I don't know, trashing out and filling up dumpsters, awful. I'd much rather pay somebody to do that, I think, next time around. But
I don't know.
there wasn't that much there though, so that it was like doable. If there was actually stuff there, it would I wouldn't have been down, you know. But yeah,
When you go up, do you
so
guys all go up together or you're just logging hours by yourself to make sure things are moving?
depends on the day. Like we were up there for the first like 2 days together, and then my schedule's a bit more flexible, right? So I was able to go up there. Plus, I wanted to like backpack blow the yard and stuff. I haven't used one since I worked at a golf course, so it was more just like I kind of want to do it, right? Um, yeah, but it's fine. It'll be good.
My
I
biggest
just
advice,
rock and rolling. Yeah.
I can add in like when you're far away, like what we have our guys do, if it's an employee, if it's a sub, whoever it is, at the end of the day, we say, hey, take 2 minutes. I want you to film a video and I want you to like dictate in the video, like, hey, I installed this cabinet. I did this, I did that, because construction, it's a master of everyone doing this. Right? Oh,
Yeah.
it wasn't me who did it. It's you who did it. And this person did it. And I didn't touch this. Like those videos have saved us more times than I can tell you, of like someone saying like, oh, that wasn't me, or I didn't do, like I had a painter that burned the floor, hardwood floors, because he left a heat gun on the floor and he was the only one there. Oh no, it
Yeah.
wasn't me. There was no way I didn't do it. And we're like, dude, I have videos of before and after you were there and it wasn't there and you put a heat and you were using a heat gun right there. So like even if it's like subs, you can like teach them and be like, hey, use the 0.5 on your camera and do the wide zoom. And I just want you to do like 2 minutes, like not even 2 minutes, like 60 seconds. Just film for me really quick what you did, just so I can have it for my records. And then it kind of like pushes them to like be accountable to have stuff to do too.
Yeah, that's a great idea. One of the guys like quoting one of our jobs like already lost one of our sets of keys. I was like, "Hey, where'd this go?" And we're like, "I don't know." And then like we called him and he was like, "No, I didn't." I was like, "It was you. It was only you." Like we only have one set of keys to the basement door, which is like our fail safe. I only changed the deadbolts. I didn't change the doorknobs. So like, hey, please don't lock the doorknobs, just the deadbolts. And he didn't know that, so he couldn't get in. And then I relayed to him basically that the gold keys were for the basement. And then now, lo and behold, like I go back up there, there's no gold keys, but like he was able to get into the basement magically. So who else was it, bud? Like you definitely have our keys. So um, gotta love it.
Babysitting grown men is my least favorite thing. And it's even worse when they lie. And you're just like, I want to stab your eyes out, but I also need you to do the work. So love, hate you, please work. And then I'm never going to work with you again. And then you have like, you don't work with them for a couple months. And then sometimes you go back to them and you're like, let's start the abuse all over again. I'm ready to give it another go. But yeah, I love that you're doing your first flip. I love that you're actually out there because it's fun being able to see things evolve and change. Like it's one of my favorite things cutting the grass is because it instantly looks better. It's not like this thing that you have to wait. It's my favorite thing to walk into something and like when the floors are new and just installed, you're like, so it's good
Yeah.
stuff.
That's been the
Yeah.
frustrating part though, because like we haven't changed that much anyways, and then even the clean out, like everything we had in the clean out was like tucked away in the basement somewhere, so you couldn't really see it, or it was like in the cabinet. So like we spent 2 days and filled up, like now we're on our second dumpster and it doesn't look that much different. I'm like, what the heck? But
But
whatever,
it's
we'll
a
get there.
journey, it's a journey of 1,000 steps. I don't know, like
Yeah.
whenever I'm doing something like cleaning out a house and I'm just like, what am I doing here? This is so stupid. I don't know why, but I like to think of myself as a little ant. I am the little ant that could, and I move my little grains, and at the end of the day, it becomes a fucking mountain. And I've just done enough stuff, little things at a time, that when I get to look back, I get to see something big happen on the back end. But it all adds up. You'll make better choices. The whole thing that you're doing is living in real life and getting feedback on what you're doing. And so the goal is for you to make better choices, the end. But I love that you have your first flip. I love that you're having some success with even dispoing too. That's nice that you don't have to do that one other thing, which is work with buyers on the back end. Because I think you're great at acquisitions, period.
Yeah, thank you. I like doing acquisitions. I do not like doing dispo. So that's why I've been like giving away fees. I've like been giving away 50% of my fees to like bring me a buyer because I don't want to deal with it.
I'm actually impressed
Yeah.
with you working with New Western because I feel like you give them the least amount of money working on your deals with you. Because I feel like I've seen, so I just saw them price shop another house in like Winchester for like 56,000. And I know that 56,000 is their fee that they put on top of stuff. So like even the one that I did over in Andover, they put a $75,000 fee on it. And they always played me where they're like, oh, we do a large volume and it's only like 5 or 10,000 here and there. But like on your deals, it's literally 5 and 10,000. So I think you're doing a good job with like
Yeah.
telling them this is my mother effing price and I'm not backing down. If you want some of it, then you do everything thereafter. And I'm not splitting with you. So I like New Western for you. I hope you have a better experience this round.
Yeah, I've been making tweaks to my process working with them. So it's a learning experience. I like that I can name my price and they can tell me whether or not they can do it. And if they can't do it and I can live with what they can do, then we can move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's your biggest hurdle going forward?
just spending my time actually following up on leads. I need to hire somebody in. I need to hire in a follow-up specialist or an acquisition person. I don't really trust anybody else with acquisition. Rosie, what are you doing? I don't really trust anybody else with acquisition right now, but like a lead manager would be nice.
Okay.
Um,
So
and
Tom
yeah,
Tom is out of the picture.
well, he's
Um,
like moved to Philly. Yen has been the most consistent. But I think I need to like hire in virtual just so I hate 40 hours a week. Like, you're following up, and when there's no follow-ups, you are cold calling and in doing that. So that's one
you
thing that
know,
I should be doing.
you know who used to have a VA company?
Yeah, I heard this guy Greg used to run one or something like that.
Greg, what a piece of shit, Greg. Look at you, no muscle. You're so soft.
Yeah,
You look like a spongy cake.
Don't
yeah,
do it,
Greg, you
Spongy.
man.
have any good like no, I don't want to run a company, but I need like a follow-up specialist that I could train up to acquisitions. If you know of anybody
He
with a
wants a
great
VA.
accent,
He does.
that
Egypt.
that I could put in, let me know.
Yeah, let me ask some people from over there if they know anybody, and then I'll get them to send you. What I do is I get the script and I send it to them and I tell them to read it to me. So I'll send them something and send you some voice memos, and then you can go from there, dog.
Yeah, voice memo, video, or whatever. I'll pay a finder's fee for hooking it up, whatever. Let's
Nah,
just
you ain't
get
got to do all that.
Yeah, but
He's
I like to.
loaded.
I'm not loaded, but I like to, so that next time I need your help, you'll be more inclined to help.
Nah, man,
Not that
you're
you're
in
not
this
inclined
group.
to help now.
Yeah. Nah, you're cool, man. You're a buddy. I'll help you out, man. It ain't no big deal. We'll catch you on the next one or something.
Greg, what are you
Yeah,
up
we'll
to
figure it
besides
out.
lifting 5-pound weights over there?
Hanging out with my brother at his tattoo shop.
Hi, brother. I thought you were at
No,
the gym. I don't know. You look like you were at the gym.
No, I left from Temple up here, straight from there because I was such on a time crunch. My son had Taekwondo today, so I went to that and then picked him up. And on the way back, my brother shops on the way back, so I'm stopping over here for a little bit just to visit.
Nice. What have you been up to this week?
Closed on a deal on last Friday, and then I got I'm trying to find a signer for this bond for this probate deal that I'm doing over there in Houston. It's a little bit difficult. I don't want to co-sign for her because she's a little irresponsible and I don't want to be liable for anything. But I think I found somebody. They're filling out the application. She doesn't have a lot of family and her family isn't very financially responsible, so she want to get approved for the bond through the insurance company. So that's kind of the hurdle I'm getting over right now. And then for the honey, I think it's honeybee over there in Dallas. The lady, the title company has a hold up. They're waiting for approval, and we should be able to be. I don't know what you're saying.
I was talking to Rachel. I saw her husband walking around butt naked in the back. And so I said, don't be embarrassed.
He just
Oh,
had his
man.
shirt off. He wasn't naked.
Yeah.
No, it was
Jace
He-
got excited when I said butt naked. She was like, whoa. No, from the waist up. His nipples were out, okay? If mine
I
can't
missed
be
it.
out, yours can't be out, all right? Let's have a sense
missed
of
it.
decorum in this field, okay? Respect.
That's funny. But yeah, other than that, I got those two deals going on. Got offers going out. So
What's
I'm
going on with the partnership?
with whom?
What's his name? I forgot his name. Chase,
Lane.
Pace, Lance.
Lane. It's
Yeah.
Lane.
Lane, what happened? Yeah.
Him and Kinley got into a big argument. I was in the middle of it. I told him I don't want to be in the middle of it anymore. Lane they're just both hurling personal. They're getting very emotional over something that should be handled logically. And I told Lane whenever he's ready to sit down and talk numbers, I'll work something out with him where he can walk away with his head held high. He asked Kinley to give him all of his money, and I guess he thought I was on his side, and I was like, no, Kinley's not doing that because I said no. So if you're gonna be mad at anybody, be mad at me. And pretty much told him to quit being a bitch. He's being a fucking crybaby. He needs to dry up his tears and sit down with me so we can work something out. The property's listed. We've gotten offers. We haven't accepted any yet, so that's kind of where that deal's at.
Why not? Why haven't you accepted any offers?
They're coming in. We're just waiting for the highest and best. Some of them we're negotiating with. But it's just, it's just real estate stuff. Just the issues with it being listed.
So you've been on the market for some time now, like maybe 3 weeks, maybe more.
Yeah, I would say so. I would
All
say
right,
so.
3 weeks, and how many offers are you in? How many offers do you have on the table?
We have 4 offers on the table. It seems like there's
Nice.
one serious person. However, one person's out of town. They just got back to Texas and they haven't gotten back with us. That's actually who we're waiting on because that's the highest and best. I don't recall exactly what it was. I would have to go look, but it's close to what we're asking. I believe we did a price drop to 425, so I think they're above 4 somewhere. And it's because of the.
What did you start at initially?
I believe it was 490, and the reason that we dropped it, the reason that we dropped it so low is I believe it was due to the inexperienced realtor. However, we went to, you already, everybody else in here doesn't really know what's going on, but you know what's going on. So she talked to people who are a little bit more.
I don't know what's going on, but I kind of warned you.
You did. You told me so, and I'll take that respectfully.
Sorry. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do better next time? How about that?
I've already I've already gone realtor shopping for the next time. I'm gonna go with what I know and not try to help anybody out. And I'm gonna probably oversee the project myself. And instead of trying to mitigate the responsibility and leave it on somebody else, I'm just gonna take the brunt of it so I know it gets done right until I can find somebody that I feel like is dependable, because I see
think
what they do.
you definitely need partnership paperwork because you don't have any with that guy, Lane and his dad, Philip, right? I definitely think
Yeah.
I did the same thing too. I gave the listing away to a friend and it was not it. I don't think I'll ever give away another listing again. You have to earn it and you have to interview for it. You have to be great, dude. If I do great work, I'm not just gonna throw it away at the finish line. Like you be great at what you do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry
I
to
agree.
go
I think that's about it though. Just refining my systems. I got more money off of the guy from North Carolina. I don't want to mention his name, but I talked him up because there was a little bit more work than we originally anticipated. I had a meeting with his attorney last week. I'm looking forward to the descendants of one more person. We should be able to send them a quick claim deed. They should be able to sign it. That should be buttoned up. And then I'm doing some business consultation for a roofing company outside of Houston. I negotiated with them, I believe, $15,000 for the business consultation and the extra work, and then I told them to put down $1,000 deposit, and I'll deliver the rest, upon completion of the job. So
You're
that's
such a hustler. I love it.
Nice.
Also, I'm shopping money. You need to do a better job with money next go around.
yeah, I
I
agree. I agree.
I got you though.
Yeah, my
No,
very next deal, I'll bring it to you and see what we can come up with.
listen, everything I have, I'm gonna put it in the group. So, yeah, at the end of the day, like that, this is what I like. Like I found Backfoot because of Mark. So it's not like I saw him on Instagram, but I may or may not have applied with them. But because he's having a good experience with it, made it easier to shop with them. Because you gotta fucking do a dance with all of these guys to get numbers out of them. But yeah, so again, real estate is a team sport. It's better with friends. I also like sharing resources. It's more fun this way. So if I have a good resource, I'm happy to share with you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'll definitely come to you and come to the group, and hopefully we can make money together and have a good experience with it, because after all, that's the goal of the group, is to come together and make money together. And if it makes dollars, it makes sense.
Jace, what are you talking about? You're looking for money today.
So I'm under contract on a sub 2.
On a sub 2 though. So why are you're looking for second position money?
Yeah, I could bring the cash to close it myself. I just don't want to.
Yeah. How much do you need?
Entry is like 45 plus closing costs, but I think I'll just take what I can get. Like I sent proof of funds with my offer. I like sent a screenshot of my bank account, and as I was sending it, I was like, I'm gonna try to go get a lender.
So I only started shopping other hard money lenders because I missed out on opportunities waiting for this one deal to pop. I have another one. I think the goal for me is now to follow through with. I just got another lawyer bill and I'm over it. So I want to get this.
We need to talk about that too. Yeah, I got one on yesterday.
Behind me, but I still want to get my deal back from him. So I would love that. I love Brandy Brow, but I'm going hard money shopping because all the cash that I was sitting on waiting for deals to pop that didn't pop because they're probate, I'm missing out on opportunities. So I like the idea of leveraging what you can, especially when money is this cheap, right? Like a couple of 1.5 and like 9.25%. It's pretty damn cheap, So you make more money with your second position, so might as well borrow the cheap money and then get paid for the good stuff. Yeah.
I actually called one of my sellers, and he's an older guy, and like I talk to him often. I have a couple of seller finance deals with him. And the last time we talked, he was at the bank laddering CDs. I was just like, how much are you getting on your CDs right now?
It's a joke.
And it's a joke. And he told me, and I guess he bullied this guy is a businessman. You know what
So
I
he
mean?
got
Like
so he
he
got
bullied the
4%.
bank.
4
He
whole
bullied the bank
percent.
into giving him in the fives, because he'd been a
Wow.
customer for 20 years, and he's like, "Well, do you need me to call the bank for you? Like, I can call the bank for you." And I was like, "No, I'm just like I'm looking. I have a deal that I'm under contract with right now, and I need like the entry." And I was like, "I'm just trying to figure out. I might get a lender for it, somebody to be the bank like you are, and I might, I'm just trying to figure out how I can pay them more than their CDs." LOL. But by the end of our conversation, he's like, "Well, I could probably help you out if you needed it. So we should talk about I would fund one of your deals." And I'm like, "You already have, but we could totally do this again. I've paid you on time every month, first of the month for the last 5 years now. We could keep doing this."
It's a silly thing how much you have to talk about what you do because you're like, I think I'm top. So it's another thing, like back in the day, I used to work a lot on branding to where I was like, I'm
Yeah.
Korean, I'm from Rhode Island, I'm a leader. So that every time you thought of Korean anything, your next neural jump was always Suzanne Sharkey. And then you're like, well, what's she up to? What am I up to? And then it gives us an opportunity to do business together because just life happens fast. So unless you're documenting it, and even if you are documenting, I might not be subscribed to you and I'm not seeing your stuff. So like life happens fast. So but you're doing a good job. I've seen you posting more consistently every day about what you're
Trying
doing.
to.
Yeah, good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if I offer him, 8% annualized, I feel like I could offer him 6 and he'd be stoked. And I'd probably offer him more because Lord knows I'm gonna pay a real PML.
Be careful. That poor man might have a heart attack or jizz his pants if you give him. I wouldn't even give
This
him a
is
whole percentage point more. I'd give him like a fraction, and he'd be like, oh.
yeah, I
Go
don't need him to
slow
die.
with them. Go slow with them. Yeah. Rachel, have a good night. Thank you always for joining.
Later.
And then
Yeah.
let's see if Jody has anything to say. Jody, what you up to?
I'm up to the same thing always. Come on.
Let's see what you got. Do a 360 for me. Where are you? You're outside? Inside? Outside. This man
I'll do the
cut down every tree in Utah to build this one house.
There's no tree. There's no wood in this house.
Oh, that's
There's no-
right. That's right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Concrete. I don't even know where you get concrete from. You dig it from the earth? Wow, I love that. Veader, are you dying on the inside? Those beautiful walnut cabinets. Ooh, ooh. You know the new thing that I like, the
There it
like
is.
European one. It's not like inset anymore. You know, like how they do the ruffles. I don't even know the trim work where it's like ridged on the inside. I like the European one where it's. I'll get a picture. I don't know how to describe it, but
So this is the main. This is the main kitchen.
the
kitchen
main
and dining.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Do you
Live that out.
live in this house yet or no? You don't
No,
live here.
hell no. Here, I'll go down. I gotta go down and check it. I gotta go down and check the thing. So this is down in the basement. My basement stays 52 degrees all the time.
Oh my God.
Chile.
This is like a bunker for end of the world.
Yeah.
You
A
could
lot of
probably
a
put
lot
a
of people are
whole.
doing the wood grain cabinets though. Like
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
people are requesting a lot more wood grained than painted.
What are you seeing now for your side? I feel like I see more multicolored kitchens lately.
So from a painted side, people are trying to branch out a little bit. So like a
Okay.
lot of my manufacturers too are adding colorways to their main production lines. And then same thing, they're going lighter on the wood grain. So they brought in like a white oak, like light oak. They call it Desert Sands Fabuwood.
Mm.
So lighter on the oak side, but it also feel like totally depends on your client. Like I'll be like, oh, people are going this direction, and then I have somebody come in and then they just are dead set on something that they're dead set on, and you can't
Mm.
convince them otherwise. So
So for these higher ticket clients, like the 100 and the 150, what are they putting in their kitchens? Like what is so expensive that they're putting in?
So it's usually more than just like multi-project. So realistically, like the 150, she's doing a master bath and a kitchen. So I will say that my closest competition was for the same project, 250 with a 10% buffer. Um, and that's why they reached out to us. Because they were like, no way, I'm not doing that. And so then I've been nurturing that lead for 10 months. It's a couple, husband and wife, they own a heating, like an HVAC company and a landscaping company in Southern Maine. And she has like a Tuscan looking kitchen. She absolutely hates it. So yeah, so she
I
she
had a
wants to
thing
do,
I had a thing personally for travertine for a very long time.
yeah.
I like it. It wears really well. It looks good, but I don't live in Arizona at
Hmm.
all. Yeah.
It's not New England whatsoever. And she's used to the beach. They live like a street away from um the beach, and she lived on the beach growing up. So she comes from money, and she's looking, especially where we're at, kind of like Seacoast, New Hampshire. We see a lot of like two-tone kitchens. So that's super, super popular. It's like a white, typically like a or just off-white. It's like the Dove white.
Yeah, I like that one.
And then either navy blue or navy blue super popular. Like white and
Yeah.
navy blue, super, super popular. Um,
That indigo, I think is what
indigo,
they
yeah.
call it.
Indigo blue, yeah. Yeah.
Barfaroni. I feel
Well,
like that was like 10 years ago. Gross.
no, like I've done
Sage.
4 kitchens in the last 6 months, that combination.
I don't know why they like it. It's gross. It's
Yeah.
gross.
We've done a lot of the Dove and greens. So two greens
Yes,
with
yes, yes.
pistachio green and Dove. So it's more like a sage. Um,
Okay. I
it's
saw
not
pistachio and it didn't look sage at all. Um,
it looks good. I think it looks good.
okay. Okay.
Um, and then there's another one that's super coastal. It's called Seafoam Green. And
No,
that
no.
one is not my personal favorite, but we've had a few people that we actually just sold a kitchen yesterday, Dove White Seafoam Green.
I would tell you,
Uh,
have that guy test his eyesight. He's clearly colorblind. That shit looks like shit. That kitchen would make me nauseous and I'd throw it.
Crazy. So an even crazier one we're doing the installation right now is a true custom pink kitchen. So they're
That's
doing
kind of
Dove
fun.
White in it's called a more pink through so because Fabiowood can do true custom, so you can just
Yeah.
color swatch anything from Sherwin-Williams and they'll do it. So yeah, it's in the process right now. I got one of my guys on it, but we
Who
started
is
that
the
job this week.
who is the client? Is it a divorced woman or
Yeah, it is. And she said, "I'm not telling my family. I don't care what they say. Everybody's
in
gonna
in
tell me I'm stupid and I shouldn't do this, but I'm doing it anyways because she wants a pink kitchen." And it made
no,
sense when I went into her house. I'm like looking at her furniture and her decorations. I'm like, one, it makes
pink
sense, but also it's gonna look really good actually.
pink is a really happy color. I've seen there was a girl who did like Airbnb pink was
Hmm.
really happy. Not Pepto-Bismol, but like cheerful, happy, girly. I saw
Oh yeah,
something on the internet at one point
it's not a
where they're
crazy
like
in your face pink, but it's nice.
the I saw something on the internet that said like, there are some strong women that hate men. I'm not saying that I do, but there were people that said, I was loved well by a good man that I fell in love with the color pink again. And so I feel like women who are more into their feminine energy, they're okay with liking pink out loud. They don't see it as like a soft feminine thing. They
Yeah.
embrace it. I like it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like pink. I just don't want to tell people I like pink. I went through a phase where I was like drinking whiskey and trying to be a hard ass, and that shit tasted nasty
Yeah.
because I wanted to be strong. But I like pink. I can't help it.
I think it's gonna look really nice, and I'm actually glad that they're kind of going in the direction of doing more colors. There's a couple of the colors like there's a Cabernet. It's like Cabernet red. Um,
Mhm.
I really want to do. I think that in somebody's like office space with like brown leather chairs. It would look really cool.
I agree.
I actually, a client that fell through, she was doing, it was like a $250,000 project. It was a little bit over actually. And that wasn't even me being crazy. Like realistically, I could have been 350.
No. I know you to be cognizant. I know you to be
Yeah.
practical. I know you to be a good shot.
And this woman she was used to doing projects. Like her and her husband are very well off.
Yeah.
It's like a $3 million house. They don't even live in it. They're like renovating while they live in another house in Maine that's probably like 3-4 million. And so we're going through, and it was so funny. I had her come to the showroom for the first time, and I'm super nervous because she knows what she's talking about. She's probably seen more of this than I've even have, and is from this world. She works at a very high up position, in like mergers and acquisitions for like prescription companies, basically like pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
So she's like very cutthroat. And so I had written down just like ballpark numbers for each project. And I had on a piece of paper in my hand. I'm like in conversation talking. She literally grabbed it out of my hand, like just took it. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe she just did that. And she's just reading through and she's like, yep, that's, oh, really? You think that for this? I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, I mean, like that actually, like these make sense. Like that's reasonable. And I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. Like,
You were prepared. That's a good thing. Jody, what are you gonna park a bus in that garage? You want to park 3 buses back there?
Well, that's the small garage.
A small garage. I saw that garage. Oh, like a family of 5 can live in there comfortably.
I have a 1,600 square foot garage. It's got to go back there when I'm completely done.
1,600 square foot garage. My goodness.
Yeah, that's just a 3-car garage.
Jody,
That's-
dare I ask what your taxes are going to be when you finish this thing?
What?
What your taxes are going to be?
10 grand.
10 grand a month? 10 grand a year?
Yeah, Utah's cheap.
that's not bad at all.
No, about 10 to 15.
Yeah, I have a 16. No, it's like 1,800 square feet, my duplex, and my taxes are almost 5.
Oh my God,
That's
cry
pretty-
me a river. Mine are like double and a half. Yeah. What are
Yeah,
you
I live in
paying,
Massachusetts,
Jace?
so
Girl, I'm paying 12,000 up here. It's $1,000 a month for garbage.
I'm pretty sure mine are 12K, but my valuation is significantly less than yours.
Mm,
And that's
Um,
homesteaded. Like all my mass properties, way higher valuations. Granted, I bought everything, pre-COVID, so like the assessments, like I'm not paying post-COVID prices where the assessments are stupid high, but yeah, even not homesteaded, the taxes are so much cheaper.
it goes town by town too. So like I have a house in Merrimack and then I had that flip over in whatever. Same price, same fucking price, 2 totally different valuations on the houses. Yeah.
Yeah. And like typically most towns will reassess every 5 years where they do like a big formal reassessment. So, but yeah, Texas is wild between taxes and insurance. I'm like, I don't know, people buy here for cash flow. LOL.
I think Texas blew up a little bit when Elon Musk came down there and was like, Texas was supposed to be like the new hub. I think Chicago was the hub, and then Texas became the new it hub. And then now I hear the Carolinas are blowing up.
Yeah.
Gregg. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Again, the goal at the end of the day is to do more deals together, to help out each other where we can. Usually the questions I ask are, what did you do this week and what are you hoping to accomplish this upcoming week? We ran out of time, which is fine, but keep that in mind. And again, the goal for this is to do more deals together, but it's also to hold you accountable. Hold you accountable to the things that you are saying. Lee fucking knocked it out of the goddamn park, okay? Getting married and everything, acquisitions and everything, tuned up your family's business, probably already blew your goals that you set back in March out of the water. Because I had asked you, like, what are your goals for this year? Yeah, I'm so impressed by you. So bravo.
Thank
But same thing to everybody else. Like nobody's going to hold you accountable. It's you. It's you against you. The end. Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining me. If you guys need anything, give me a shout. And then use the group, Creative Elite, use the group for whatever you need. If you want to shop, I know Greg, you and Mark were talking about in the beginning, what is it, Go High Level and Follow Up Boss. If you want to do integrated stuff or, find other people that are using systems that you're using. Lee, there's quite a few wholesalers in our group. So Isaiah. So I sent you the email from Isaiah. Maybe he'll respond, maybe not. But touch base also with Mark too. Mark has deals. And then there's one other, Discounted Property Solutions. I'm seeing a lot of stuff from them. I don't think I've seen anything multi from them, but it's still a good option in case you and Anna want to do the whole love nest thing and maybe not house hack because you guys want to be alone, because you're following in your brother's footsteps and going to break your back. I don't know. Up to you.
No.
But good luck this upcoming weekend. I hope to scream and lose my voice as to whatever story you end up telling me. I know it'll be good.
Yeah.
I am shocked by your growth just from like 3 months ago. Yeah. Good stuff, dude.
I
Happy
move
for
quick.
No, you do. But at the end of the day, when you're a buyer, you know what you want, it's easy to say yes.
That's
Yeah.
I honestly, I feel like that's been exactly my experience. I was like, I asked for something for so long, I prayed about it, and like it's right there in front of me. I'd be a fool to have waited that long and done all these things to get to that point, and then be like, oh, actually, I need this and this also. So
Yeah.
yeah, just kind of, it's a little crazy. I don't think it's really hit me yet, but it will.
You look very mature. I don't know what it is about you, but you look different too. Well, maybe it's the Latina effect. I don't know. There's a little bit of a glow up when you have someone who loves you in your
But
life.
she's been doing my skincare. I got new products. Yeah.
What are you using?
Um, I'm not the one to ask those questions. She just buys
Snail
them for
mucus?
me. She buys things for me, and then she shows up and she says, "Use this now." And I
Okay.
say, "Okay,
Good girl.
of course,
Good girl.
absolutely."
I love it. You
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a good night, everybody. If you need stuff, use the group, and then I'll see you when I see you.
Suzanne.
Goodbye, everybody.